You know what? I don't really want to wait. You don't want to wait. Let's go play some Dungeons and Dragons. Oh, did Carl just arrive? Hey, just in time, man. We're literally just pressing go. All right.
Excellent.
I'm going to get the stream going. Hi, Internet.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, it's okay, man. I just got to get things kind of fixed up here. How's everybody?
Well, I just ate Little Caesar, so I'm just waiting for the Toll Bells of Regret to chime in.
Oh, dear. Thank God we're on remote.
Yes, thank God.
This is sponsored by Little Caesars and Pepto-Bismol. We're not actually sponsored by either of these things. But we could be if you're a representative and you want some free advertising. Wait, not free. Not free. How's everyone?
How they sponsorships usually work, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, we'll make fun of your product for you. Money, please. Anyway, so we're gonna play some Dungeons and Dragons. My name is Todd. These are some friends of ours, and your friends of ours. Who? Words. More coffee. One sec. Hi. Why don't you all just fend for yourselves for a minute?
Fending.
Fending. Fending is not loading. All right, so we're gonna continue playing some Dungeons and Dragons in hell. I'm actually not that much of a metalhead, but I appreciate it more. Appreciate it more now. Definitely kind of matches the hellscape for sure. So yeah, we're gonna play some Dungeons and Dragons. It's an ongoing campaign. We're on episode, I think, 37. 37. Eek. We've been going from the beginning. We've got some of the same players, a couple of new ones, and another thing we're going to be doing is we also are looking forward to starting some Shadowrun interspersed amongst all the Dungeons and Dragons. We're playing 5th Ed, and characters, I believe, you're level 11, right?
Yep.
Okay, currently level 11, and they are in Avernus, so kind of midway through that, and we're also slamming it together with our homebrew. I think it was around episode 20 when we made the leap over to Avernus, which surprised me just as much as all of you, but it just kind of happened. It just dovetailed really nicely. Figured all of you deserve to go to hell. Let's make that happen. I mean, the characters. You're all lovely people. Speaking of people, let's meet the people. Hey, Darcy. How you doing?
Hi. I'm doing great. I'm Darcy Biz. You can find me at twitch.tv/DarcyBiz. I also do arts and stuff sometimes. You should check out my Instagram. It's around. You can find it. I believe in you. For this game, I'm playing Henrietta Pedersen, the pacifist paladin of Palor. We're going to see how well that works out for me.
Very nice.
In hell.
In hell. Yeah, already she's had some rough goes and interesting run-ins, so we're excited to see even more of, I think, possibly the least morally ambiguous of the group, but that remains to be seen, I suppose. So let's keep going around the horn. The latest addition to the party is Falurie. Hi, Carl. How's it going?
How's it going, guys? Carl, and I will be playing Falurie, the Arakocra Shadow Monk, who is still trying to figure out why the hell she's down here. No pun intended.
Pun intended. Pun is always intended. Oh, hell would be full of puns. It would be just like, fantastic.
That would be such a... next time
Welcome to hell.
A game in hell, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, that's what makes it hell, is that everyone uses puns constantly. That's really good. That's a really good observation you've made.
Yeah, I have an insight. So let's keep going around the circle here and give it over to Gordon.
Hey, Gordon, playing Fenris, the Shadow Sorcerer. Probably, I think, one of the oldest character, along with Henrietta.
Yeah, we actually brought you two back together again. It's really cute. You guys make a lovely little couple, except you hate each other.
Oh, we have our party is so cohesive right now. So cohesive.
And your character is the glue that binds them all together.
don't
in
know
that
what
kind of
you're
way that
speaking of, but okay.
you stick super glue on your fingers by accident, and you're like, God
Yeah.
damn it. Ah. And you have to like pull until the skin tears. Yeah, it's that. You're that. Let's keep. And while we're at it, let's mention that other thing that you do, because I like to promote you. I don't know that we're sponsored by that, but let's talk briefly about that.
Thanks. I design board games and recently completed a Kickstarter for a new game that will be releasing in 2021 called Lost Ones.
Nice. So we're looking forward to seeing that and playing that, because I'm looking forward to doing that. Ooh, music's a little loud, sorry. And then, last but not least for tonight, and we do have another player away today, and a couple who I would welcome back to the table anytime. We were just talking about Levi, and we wish you well, Levi. I hope you can join us again at the table. And same with Trent, but of course, scheduling and life. But you guys are welcome at the table. And last but not least, Darmita, Bela.
Hey, I'm Bela, and yes, I play Darmita, and she is a fallen Aasimar ranger. And she's a bit prickly lately. She doesn't like hell.
What? It is your
Yeah.
favorite terrain, though.
I know, but she's a little prickly.
Yeah, that's fair. She's been through a lot. Like, she saw her dead mom. Her favorite terrain is filled with things that she just loves to murder, some of which she doesn't always get to
That's the
do.
interesting point, right? I was thinking most people hate to be surrounded by, things they hate, but you love murdering those things so much. You think that would
Well,
outweigh it?
here's the thing, though. If you've noticed, and nobody's given this much thought, but for the last few weeks, we've had to not murder hags, and
That's a very good point.
and I've had to be nice or work together with, and that is not. She's not down with that.
That is a hard sell. Like, you're surrounded by the things that you just love
Yeah.
to put arrows into, and you're like, eh.
And I'm being asked to ally in some weird way.
Well,
Yeah.
you gotta eat, right?
Yeah, well,
You're gonna single-handedly take on all of hell. Tonight, on Descent into Avernus. All right, and I'm the Dungeon Master. There's another important player who couldn't make it today, and we'll see him next week, and that is Archibald Cunningham. He's not the player, he's the character. Archibald Cunningham, the duelist, rogue, fighter, scrapper, who's also a dandy, and he's played by Jay. And Jay, we love you. Come back to the stream real soon. Of course, there's one more really most important, and that is the interwebs. Ooh, and speaking of which, that should have talked to me. I don't know why it didn't. Yaofan jumped right in there as I was saying that. Good to see you again, Yaofan. And anyone else in chat, feel free to say hi. We love your input, and we love you to spend some plot points and make us figure out the game. I'm sure you come... Actually, some of my favorite moments have come directly from the audience. Like legitimate, lovely little tingle storytelling moments. So I love it, and also to make the lives of these people either easier or harder, or certainly more. Yeah, that's the word I'm going with. And Yaofan says, although it didn't read it for some reason, compromise makes for strange bedfellows, and that it does. That it absolutely does. So we'll see. We'll see exactly who turns it up in the bed tonight. But internet, feel free to chime in at any point, and we'll work you into the game. All right, my system is being a little funny right now, so let's dive in after these not messages. We'll be right back. You remember that one? All right. Last time on Dungeons and Dragons. So we're in hell, and the party has been trying to get several leads about the Eye of Pellar. I think it's safe to call it a nemesis, right? And so the party has been hot on the trail of a couple of leads, one of which is unlocking memories of the Hollyphant old man, sometime Deva, who is Lulu, who has been tagging along with the party into the gates of hell and beyond. Meanwhile, there's been talk of an artifact, the Sword of Zariel. Also, you needed to find the name of the fallen angel. The Eye of Pelor was the pseudonym given by the being that is twisting the sect of Pelor to its own will and busy corrupting those who would be otherwise holy and servants of Pelor, convincing them ever so slightly by step to commit more and more evil acts, beginning with intolerance, bigotry, hatred, and finally giving up their souls and going to hell and fighting in the eternal war as slave devils against the demon army. Because, that's how it goes. First,
Apparently.
tempt. Second, cause them to fall from grace. Third, profit. I think that's how it goes, right?
Probably.
So you find yourselves on the banks of the Styx, the blood red river flowing between the all the way through this layer of hell, Avernus, the first layer, and the demons rising up from the waters below, and like so much bubbling toxic filth, the devils pushing them back, and this war has been going on for eons and eons, ages, the endless war. You find yourselves unwilling inhabitants of this ancient battleground, the landscape scarred and torn, wretched hides and beings shambling around, some of which are enslaved to be combatants in this war, others just these poor wretched souls finding themselves on this hellscape. And you find yourselves blazing along on a I think it's called a demon grinder, an infernal machine that burns the souls of soul coins for fuel. And then some other unlikely bedfellows, 2 Kenku, a flame skull, and servants of a Avernus warlord who you made a bargain with, not for your souls, but for access to your memories. This bargain played out. She furnished you as best she could and sent you on your way to complete your quest. You may not have heard the last of Mad Maggie, but she's gotten you thus far. Archibald, unfortunately, never left her camp, going missing in the dreamscape. Meanwhile, you find your way across the sundered chains and now staring up at Howraman's Hill on the opposite side of the Styx. At this point, it's not too far across, a couple 100 meters, and you've managed to Chaka and Clunk, the 2 Kenku, grind the 2 infernal machines to a stop between 2 hills. Finally, those tearing, screaming, belching sounds from the engine fall silent, your ears ringing with the memory of the noise. You find yourself between some hills, blocking the view of nearby watchtowers, unfollowed to your knowledge, unobserved for the moment. What do you want to do?
So, if I recall from last time, we already had sort of come up with a plan. That Lulu was in Holophant form, and I had asked if he could carry, I think, Fenris and Henrietta, and then myself and Falurie were going to fly up to the top, or the edge of her
Harriman Hill.
ones. I can't talk tonight. I give up. To the hill, to because we believed there was something there that we required to continue.
Yes, Lulu remembers that space and feels there may be something to be gained from going there, or at least something. He remembers something vaguely important. That's what he told you. But unfortunately, his memory is shattered, probably by a dunk in the sticks.
Orlando,
Yeah.
Pillar draws me northward, or not northward, I guess, whatever. Pillar draws me to the Citadel. I do value your counsel, but do you have anything concrete? I guess I wouldn't use the word concrete, would I? Unless that word came before the term. Wow, words. Anyway, not important. Something solid to act upon. Some real reason we must go there. Otherwise, well, we need to cross the Styx anyway if we have a way, but
all I know is
nation.
Well, I too want to seek the sword. If you know where it is, we should get it, and we should bring it, and we should... Perhaps that could be the key to undoing all of this terrible mess. That would be wonderful. But well, I think it was... Even if you know the place, it was guarded or covered by I think it was like a scab on the landscape, covering up a holy resting site. I feel that it might not be quite so simple, but we could, if you know where it is, we could go there and we could get the sword, and then we can undo it and.
Pillar leads me onward. I have no reason to think that this draw that pulls me to the Citadel, it must have a means in sight as well. I must believe this.
Yes.
Unless
Belief is very important. I believed. I think I can again. It is good to have faith in Henrietta. And Lulu, the old man, puts his hand on your armor a little bit, just with a reassuring tap, and then kind of runs his fingers absent-mindedly along the edge of your pauldron. It is a long time since I've felt whole, and I still don't recall so much, and it's hard. But I remember bits, and that too may have meaning and use. I have to believe I may still have a use. As do you.
I need to reach the other side of the river anyway, so I would be happy to accompany you.
Good. You and your faith will take you far. I can only hope it will be far enough.
I think I recite some ritual phrase in the religion, just some rote thing back at them.
And also with you.
Yeah, right, yeah, whatever it is.
While we're doing this, I'm gonna just put my hand back in the pocket, and maybe I spend a plot point from the last encounter with Mad Maggie when she kind of touched and maybe cast mend on my...
Sure thing. I'll accept that plot point. The players get plot points too. There you go, Internet. So yes, you actually pull out the little bit of blanket that you tore from the dreamscape. It was your own little blankie when you were a young child raised in the cult. And it's weird. You have these memories. It's not just dreams. It's you remember etching and drawing on various things, and you remember vaguely sketching and doodling on your blanket, but at the time it didn't really have any meaning to you. Now you have a portion of that blanket, 2/3 of it in fact, in your hands, worn and soft. It's a little disconcerting because you also... This little tiny piece of blanket was once your comfort in the cold nights on the road with your family. And this is possibly one of the last pieces you have tying you to them. You look at it, and there is script. It's written in a strange language. You can read it. You were taught to read it. And some of it is imbued with arcane symbols. Unfortunately, it's not complete. But the two pieces you have been mended back together. Falurie, it feels good to be in the air, even when the hot, oddly dry, strangely sand-swept air of the hellscape. It still can't take away the entire joy for you of flying in the open air. The roiling dark clouds above and the reddish, almost backlit and underlighting. It definitely makes it feel more closed in than your home plane of the air. But it's still good to fly. You've been flying
better than the previous times.
Certainly since you were wandering in those tiny little catacombs before the party met you. That was probably the truest sense of hell for you. You almost begrudgingly come down and land, having scouted around. Can I get you to do a perception check?
Of course.
By the way, some of you have had a rest about 8 hours ago. Henrietta, you have not. If you press on from this point...
Has 8 hours passed?
Not... from when you set out for Mad Maggie's?
Yeah, I need to know because of Aid, which I cast before I left.
So, it has been more than 8 hours since you left Mad Maggie's. It has not been 8 hours since the party caught up with you. So, it's probably been about... a good 12 hours since you left Mad Maggie's. The party is... No, more than that. It'd be more like 16 hours since you left Mad Maggie's. And you do feel the urge to sleep. You can probably press on if you want to, but you're risking a point of exhaustion by doing so.
Now, on that note, Falurie rolled a nat 20.
Nice.
Yeah, and I had a question in regards to what we just discussed, in that when we left Mad Maggie, we had -5 to our max hit points, and with Blast brought it up to 5 over max hit points. You know, having had a long rest, does that -5 to hit point still remain, or?
You have a permanent loss of 5 hit points when you left the care of Mad Maggie. That was, unfortunately, you're determining that was kind of the cost of the ritual that allowed you to unlock some of the Hollyphant's memories, as well as some unexpected gifts.
So we're all at -5 permanently.
Afraid so.
Yeah, and it is worn off if you have taken that into account. Cool.
Looking forward to those gifts, though, let me tell you.
Yeah, we didn't actually get to yours yet, but we'll come back around. Maybe you picked something up in the dreamscape that you didn't remember.
Maybe.
All right. So if you want to press on and carry on, that's great. If you want to set up camp, you can do that too. Dungeons and Dragons.
So nat 20.
Camp.
Nat 20 perception.
Nat 20 perception. So when you scanned around, you saw 3 watchtowers of like devil watchtowers set along the side of the sticks on this side. They generally will watch for any demon intrusion. You didn't count. You could get a pretty good look at one of them and could count about maybe 3 or 4 devils, at least one of which was winged at the top of the nearest one, which is just a little bit to the south, probably half a mile to the south, behind the hills. Though that's the one you went tearing past, and Chaka and Clunk the Kenku flipped it off and just kept on driving. They didn't pursue or anything, but they did yell obscenities and infernal at you. You imagine the other 2 nearby watchtowers are probably similarly outfitted. They seem to not have noticed your presence or tracked you, and it doesn't seem like any of the wandering lemur souls that sometimes burble up out of the sticks. You see occasionally them wandering across the plain in either solo or groups. You don't see any nearby currently, so it seems like the party is left fairly alone and unbothered at the moment.
So I'll relay that to the others, saying, look, right now we're pretty much safe. Got those watchtowers, but I think they're busy with something else and not really into us. But just in case you're interested in figuring out numbers, is about 4 demons per tower approximately. So
at least at the top you could see.
Correct.
All right, what do you want to do?
What do you want to do?
Said one of the Kenku.
Who needs a rest?
The other Kenku answers, I don't know, what do you want to do?
You said, you're saying that, like, I'm sort of the limiting factor here. You said I've been awake for, like, 16 hours or something, and that's exhausting?
A little longer than that, even. Like, the rest of the party got an 8-hour...
So I didn't get, like, a long rest, but I think I should still be rested, right?
You've had a chance to take a short rest in the back of the vehicle. The rest of them had a chance to take a long rest in between the time of picking you up, before picking you up, catching up, and then moving on from there.
I understand that. My understanding was that I wasn't getting a mechanical long rest, but I was still rested as a just normal human functionalities. That's what I was acting upon.
Let me put it this way. Let me know if you feel like you are going to go to sleep and do anything that would otherwise break concentration.
That's a good point. I didn't know if I'm actually feeling exhausted or not, right? That's going to be what Hen is.
Go ahead and roll a Constitution saving throw with disadvantage.
Okay.
Because hell.
Sure. Constitution. That's a 5.
You are wobbling on your feet, so much so that when the vehicle finally lurched to a halt, you were kind of keeping your steed, your celestial mount that you summoned forth, trying to keep it calm in the back of this almost... You took the bus one or the other one?
The bus, I believe. I think that's the one you said had
No, you
space.
took the demon grinder. Sorry, it's still pretty big in the back, and so...
I didn't think we brought a demon grinder, actually, but sure.
Oh, but maybe it was the one with the claw.
It's the one with the claw.
Okay, so that's the scavenger. So you took that one and the tormentor because you were offered 2. So there is a little more room in the back of that one, so all of you can fit pretty comfortably in the back of the scavenger. Even your horse, if people are willing to, shuffle over. So when you come to a stop,
yeah, you said the horse is basically going in like cargo space instead of going into. Like,
most of you are in cargo space.
Okay, fair enough then.
And so. When the vehicle slams to a stop, you've actually nodded off almost on your feet, and unexpectedly just you go slamming forward and you slam into the side of the creature, and it kind of turns its head and nuzzles against you to see if you're all right.
Great. Okay. Oh. All right. Looks like that's it for me. Sorry, folks.
All right, you get some rest. The rest of us can, if we're not too tired, let's figure out a way to cross this river.
Barnabas comes floating down and says, hello. We'll stay with the, what's his voice again? All right. We're gonna stay with the vehicle, and we'll stay as long as we can, but if we're found, we're gonna have to hightail it back south again. All right.
All right.
And then you hear Chuck look back and say, keep it down. Keep it down.
So, we didn't, when I was looking for the watchtowers, I didn't see, a small, narrow opening or, a felled tree or whatever.
In the watchtower itself, or in the sticks?
No, that would allow us to cross the sticks.
Unfortunately, not with the vehicles. Not at this point. It generally winds its way all the way through, although there are places where it diverges from its path, either purposefully or just the nature of this shifting landscape. At this point, it's still several hundred meters across at this point. And then on the opposite side, you see the cliff beginning to rise to this massive height on the opposite side, directly overlooking. You see what Lulu and the others have referred to as Harriman's Hill. It's probably 1,000 feet up. It's very strange, almost like half a mountain was just shorn clean. And there's nothing on the opposite side except the river and the plains stretching off. It appears the easiest way across would be to fly. Not a hard task for yourself. But these landlubbers, I don't know.
You say it spans about 100 meters, yeah?
Probably about 150 at its narrowest point, which is right where, if you go due east from where you are, if east was a thing here, you would run into a watchtower, and that point is about 150 meters across the sticks. But on the other side is a cliff as well, already at least 100 feet high. So the further south you go, the more flat the cliff point, the more flat the cliff point is. And the further north you go, the more steep it becomes.
Okay.
And Lulu could potentially carry one of us?
Oh yeah.
Two?
I believe I could.
Well, then
I'm getting a wing back. It's okay. In my form, I have 3 still, and a nubbin. You want to see?
Wait a minute. Hold on. We're not thinking clearly here, obviously. Lulu, that thing you did when we were being attacked in
Yes.
the hall
Yes.
where you took us else, can
To
you
teleport,
do
yeah.
that? Yeah,
Oh.
can you do that with all of us and the vehicles across the river?
I can try, but I wasn't feigning sleep when we arrived near Mad Maggie's. It took it out of me. I can try if you want me to, but it would be quite a I can certainly try.
No. Weaken you like that.
No.
I used to be strong. I'm sorry.
It's not your fault.
I think I can get myself across. I feel something inside me is adapting.
The problem
And he
is
grows a tentacle out of his... No.
the problem, Fenris, is the 5 of us can get across. That's not the issue. We could do that, but we're going to be without vehicles. And these 2 aren't going to go. So
They could stay here, hidden, and we could go up to Harriman Hill and do what we need to do, if that's where the sword is, or a clue to where the sword is.
well,
Like, what do you think? That
my original plan, but it seemed like that was
I think I can...
against, so I don't know.
I think that we should try.
Okay.
We've come this far. I don't think we were spotted. We can leave the vehicles. I know it's a big risk. And I think we all have to agree on this, but I think once Henrietta awakens, I know that you and Falurie can fly across.
Yeah, and I can
But I
cloak.
I think I can get me and Henrietta across.
You gotta keep in mind that if we were to bring the vehicles over, we'd offer ourselves as a target on the
We
other
make
side.
noise.
So.
That's a very good point.
They're pretty big.
And they're noisy.
Yeah.
So I think, if we're going in these hills here, in the belief that the sword's there, we probably want to use some stealth to get in there, and those vehicles would offer protection, but would not offer any modicum of stealth whatsoever. So when we do want to go across, I can cast Pass Without a Trace to everybody as well. So
Okay. I just need to get to a point by the riverbank that's relatively narrow. And I think I can bring me and Henrietta across.
All right. That sounds good. I'm going to get some rest too then.
I would say as a player, because I think I am asleep as Henrietta. I have nothing wrong with if you guys want to go do that, like during the rest. Like that seems like it would probably take less than 8 hours, but I don't know.
I mean, I guess it just depends. Does Henrietta need like a full 8-hour rest? I don't know.
You would buy some time if you just made it a short rest, an hour.
I mean, that's a fair point, right? Like I wasn't resting for a mechanical purpose. I was resting for a exhaustion purpose. So that's really up to you.
I would say you could buy yourself a couple of hours if you got an hour nap, but you're definitely gonna, either way, you're gonna lose anything that might be concentration, and obviously you wouldn't be coming up on an exhaustion if you rested fully now, but you can put it off by resting. God, I hope so, because I do that all the time.
Yeah, I think that the scene basically is like, the Kenku and Barnabas are like, we'll stay here with Hen. You go do what you got to do, right? That's what I'm picturing the scene as. By you to everyone.
Do you want to wait an hour or 8 hours for Henrietta, or do you want to go ahead without her?
Well, what do you think, Darmita?
Well, I mean, weighing risk factor. I mean, if we go, I mean, I feel like the 3 of us, we could potentially even leave Lulu here, with Henrietta. I think maybe the three of us. Although it's Lulu who knows what we're looking for there, so I think we can take him. So I think the four of us can go stealthily enough between Falurie and I. We've got... sorry, I just looked down at Carl's name. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Well, what is the name, Carl? I can't read it from the screen I'm on.
Little Caesar Forsaken.
It's awesome.
Just totally caught me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think, we both have the pass without a trace. I think we can get us over there. Do what we have to do without any incident.
So maybe what we do is this. It's almost going to be about an hour. We give Henrietta the option to join us or not, or to let her rest.
Yeah.
So what we'll do is that we'll wait for like about an hour, short rest. Just let Hen know, like, hey, you have the option to kind of wake up. I know you're tired. You can join us, or we'll go while you get a full rest. I'll just leave it to Henrietta to decide on that.
Sure. What's it going to be, Hen?
So we'll let an hour pass, and then we'll wake Hen just enough to say, we're going to scout, or you can join us, or you can get a full rest.
Okay, so you wait that hour. She kind of... Does Henrietta snore?
Oh, probably.
I would imagine so,
I have
too.
to assume, yeah.
All right, so Henrietta's snores don't seem to attract the attention of anything that you don't really want around. After that hour passes, is there anything else anybody wants to do before you move on? All right.
I think just get ready.
You eat
So
meager
this is-
rations that turn to ash in your mouth. It's just awful. The water tastes like vinegar. It is sustaining, but it is not very good. One of the perks of hell.
You make good berries to give to people.
Sure. How much mistletoe do you have left?
Oh, I had quite a bit before, but then I
you
gave
had-
some away.
You did. I think you had something like 2d6 mistletoe and rolled pretty well.
Yeah, and then I gave some away
Hmm.
when we were underground, when we came upon everybody hiding under the hall.
All right, well, the max would have been 12, so let's say you had 12, and however much you wanted to give to those
I'm
trying
just
to
looking
hang
on
on
my-
in Elturel.
I'm looking at my character sheet to see if I might have noted it down.
Is there anything else that anyone else wants to do?
For the pass without a trace, I'll probably cast it. So all I have to do is use a key point. So
Sure. So
I
just
suppose
prior
a
to
spell slot.
going off. Absolutely. And Henrietta...
No, I don't have anything on my...
Oh, that's fine. We'll give you
list
half. You
about
got
it.
6 left. So...
Okay.
Henrietta,
Well, I did use last...
So
game.
now you're down to 4 after this one. But that's for everybody. So you have good berries. Even the good berries aren't great. They are definitely out of season blueberry type taste. So it's like, whoa, that's sour. Oh, but it's sustaining. It does fill you and make you feel hearty and hale. Henrietta, you awaken to Darmita offering you a good berry.
Oh, thank you.
And
I
a
think I need to
twig
rest
of-
a bit longer.
A little leaf of mint.
Good. I appreciate it.
Okay. So, Hen, are you going to be going with them, or are you going to stay put?
Heading up to the hill now.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think, well, if
You
you're
can stay here, or you can join us if you're feeling up to it. But we need to move before we get spotted.
And you intend to come back across the river? Oh,
Yeah.
My destination's the other side anyway, so I might as well just stay here if that's the case.
Okay.
Okay. The rest of you, ready yourselves.
Barnabas has proven to be quite trustworthy. I think I should be fine.
The flame skull is currently kind of... inspecting part of the demon grind, or the scavenger, and looks up at you at the call of his name. Oh, okay. And goes back to his work, kind of wobbling around.
Hey, let's.
Oh,
Alright.
before you go, I'll like pull out the cartographer's map. Would you prefer it to get where you're going?
I think we're okay.
We're just going to the top of Harmon's Hill, right?
No, this is your chance to take it from him, so you have it for the rest of the game, probably.
Sure, fine. Yeah, I'll make. Okay, whatever. You can have it back.
You
I
use
don't
the
mind.
narrative excuse so that you can have it, because Fenris is the one you should have it, probably, just in general.
As you kind of crack the scroll case and peek inside, this strange, insane voice of the mad cartographer, their soul embedded in the pages, in the vellum of this map, muttering out. You can just make it out just quietly. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, 4. Don't look in, you might not snore.
Great. Close it up. Let's get going.
Right. So
Okay.
I cast Pass Without a Trace to whoever's going, so gather up 30 meters,
All right.
30 feet.
Yeah.
You cover the couple hundred meters over towards the narrow section of the bridge of the river. Or are you going to take off from here? And is Lulu coming with you?
Yes.
Okay.
We do need Lulu.
Oh, hello. All right. I shall become my glorious self. And you see him. It almost looks like he's trying to take a dump for a minute. He's like focused, and he starts to turn kind of red in the face, and his body starts to shake a little bit, and you see him hunker down. And then all of a sudden, boom, his body balloons out in this kind of ridiculous cartoon, and then his head kind of matches. And then the last thing is this old man's face suddenly starts to swell in places, and his nose, and the very last thing to come out is as this miniature mammoth looking thing with longer ears that also double as wings, and then another pair of wings on its back, fluttering, hovering a couple of feet off the ground. It's pretty sizable. It's probably the size of a large dinner table at this point. And its relative girth is strangely light in the air as it kind of just hovers a foot off the ground.
Well, I've got a backup if we need to get across, but let's see if you can carry me. And
He sets down on legs that are almost too small to bear its weight, but it's a celestial creature, probably one of the more ridiculous, and it doesn't seem to have any problem. And
Okay.
you climb on its back and hold on just between its wings, and he looks back at you and says, and in his head you hear him say, "Now, hold on."
yeah, I'm holding on.
And I'm gonna have to put this in my monk notes, man, 'cause I'm seeing some shit today.
All right. So you end up flying up into the air on the back of this. Darmita, how are you crossing?
Boots.
Oh, her voice cut out.
My winged.
There we go. Ah, yes, your winged boots. You activate your boots. I believe that lasts for something like 4 hours or something.
Yes.
All right. So the three of you take to the sky. Fenris on the back of this strange creature, celestial being. Falurie flapping the
Your music
majestic.
is fighting with your mic.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. The Arakocra wings stretching out into the hellscape sky, and Darmita, the two little fluttering wings on either side of her ankles, both ankles just propelling her up into the sky above the blood-red river. At Falurie's suggestion, you stay low, I'm guessing, or high? Which one do you want?
Well, close to one another.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, the
In your
Pass
experience,
Without a Trace is just casting at 30, isn't it?
It is.
No,
And then you
I
can
think we have
spread
to
out.
remain within 30. I'm just looking.
Sure, you can
Yep,
check that
we do.
out.
That's right.
So you're gonna have to stay
So yeah,
together.
let's stay low.
And in your experience, unless you can get really high, it's better to stay low. It's harder to spot you.
Yeah.
So you were hovering 10 or 15 feet off of the deck as the dusty hellscape land gives way as you head out over the Styx. There's this involuntary lurch in your stomach, Fenris. You've flown before, but knowing that you're hovering over water that could strip you of your mind, strip you of all your memories and your soul itself. It might be a soft landing, but it would be a high price to pay. The
I
flight.
can't hear you. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No.
I don't know what's going on.
There you go.
There you go. You're back.
Weird. Sorry. I think it keeps cutting out my voice for because I got a fan going, so it's trying to block that out. So
Yeah.
you're hovering only about 15 feet above the Styx, and the river is just bubbling and flowing beneath you. It's disconcerting, to say the least.
Not even gonna look at the river. Just gonna
Nice.
look at the Holophant and like.
Keep your head kind of buried. Kind of reminds you of riding on your dad's back when you were little. You go tearing across the river at a pretty quick pace. You can all move pretty quickly. And before you know it, you're flying along the edge of the river and the land on the far side. The mountain beginning to rise up. Do you want to go kind of along the river and then climb the cliff? Or do you want to go up over land and follow the edge of the land up to the highest point?
Well, I'm smelling like Swiss Chalet right now, so let's get away from the river if we could.
I don't have a choice in this. I'm just like, whatever you guys are doing, I'm along for the ride.
All right. So you guys take a right and end up over the land. You can make out in the dusty, boulder-strewn landscape some wretched, twisted, petrified trees, a couple of shambling lemurs, and these little, almost like little buildings, and a path winding its way up, back and forth, but continually up towards the precipice of this hill. As you fly along, you start to get a better look at a few of these things. Some of them immensely tall, others small and stunted. Some of them appear to be like trees, other ones strange stone blocks. Does anybody want to do a perception check for me?
Do you want to do it?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Do you want me to assist or?
Sure.
Actually, I don't have. No, I can't. If it was an
Oh.
investigation, I could.
I'll assist.
Sure. $20.
Nice. So as you're flying up, you see these stone pillars, and there's a bit of an uneven shape to the one side of them. Otherwise, they seem like they're kind of broken off buildings, but only about, some of them 5 feet wide, some of them 10 feet wide, and they stretch up about 10 or 15 feet up into the air. They seem to have some kind of adornment on the front, or some kind of unevenness at the front of them, but otherwise they seem like stone from this distance. You'd have to get closer to get a better look. The strange narrow structures, they appear to be almost like trees, but totally bare and jagged, as though the branches were elongated and stretched and thickened. And on these you can occasionally make out the shape of some limbs and a torso and a head, dangling bodies. You also, with that 20, make out, for a second, you hear this buzzing sound. You don't like buzzing sounds.
Oh, no.
And then you look over and you're like, and it's a different pitch, and it fades quickly. It is not a Kazame.
Okay.
Instead,
Still.
you see this strange creature of you probably would recognize a sturge.
Okay.
And you can see these sturges, sometimes in little flocks of them, buzzing around back and forth between, most of these trees, these jagged stone or iron-like trees, hung with bodies. And the sturges are flittering from one body to the next, plunging their front pubiscuses in, and the bodies twitch and writhe. And then it pulls back, and you see it, and then fly away. They don't seem to have noticed you. Can I get everybody to do a stealth check? Remember, you've got Pass Without a Trace.
That'll be 36.
Oh, damn, Falurie, you're a ghost.
Ooh, 15.
Plus 10, right?
9.
Ho, 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 ho.
So, 36 for Falurie, 25 for, or is that including the plus 10?
No,
Gordon?
just 15.
Okay, so 15 for Gordon and the Hollyphant. Oh, can you also roll for the Hollyphant, Gordon? And
Sure.
Bela,
19.
19 with a natural 1.
Yeah, but those count on...
I'm not saying it's an instant fail. I'm just pointing out that it's a nat 1.
What's Lulu's dex?
Not fantastic. I mean, it's a freaking mammoth. It's not a mammoth right now, actually. He's in his Hollyphant form.
Wow, 27 without dex, so I think it's fine. I think Lulu's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. It's a +0, so...
Okay, 27.
Straight 27. So the Hollyphant is up and down, and unfortunately, Darmita, in flying over these things, you get a little bit higher than the others at one point, and a little bit farther away, and you I don't know why it's not chatting at me, Yelfen. That should have said that out loud. I'm sorry about that. What's going on? So, Darmita is flying through the air, and the physics are very strange in hell. I mean, there's a city that you left floating above the Styx. So certain things behave differently here. And there's one of these shattered pillars, these squat little buildings. And the top is very jagged, and you see these little rocks kind of hovering off of it, almost like a lava lamp, just kind of bubbling up and rising up a ways, and then losing steam and then falling back down. The rest of you see this. Darmita does not. So she's flying through the air, and all of a sudden, whack, right into a rock that's flying in the air. Can you do a dexterity saving throw for me, Darmita?
Yeah. All right. Starting out good.
Start to the night.
Fuck.
Okay.
19. Okay, so you're going to take half damage as you crack a rock off your head. All right, rolled a 7. So you're going to take half of that, so you only take 3 points of damage as you catch this unexpected rock, a little scratch underneath along your face. Just a little bit of blood dripping off.
I'm just going to kind of grumble a little bit and fly back down to meet them.
Yeah, you have to hustle a little bit to catch up to them. So at this point, you're coming up to a little over halfway up the hill, and these structures get a little bit more frequent and a little bit closer together at this point. And you see parts of the hill are rising up and falling into various places, and you see the squat buildings, like the one that was broken off with the shards falling off. You catch an arm sticking out of the rock at one point, as though there's a body encased in there. And you can see the hand kind of a little twitch. And you see another one of these tall. This one's almost 30, 40, 50 feet high. And you see almost perfectly cylindrical spike, the jagged part at the top spreads out into kind of 3 or 4, like a little tuft, almost like an iron razor sharp palm tree. But the tuft at the top is very small, only about 4 feet wide. And you see this large, not large, but like a human body, but big, girthy, as though impaled on it, like one of those note things. And he's halfway down, and it's going right through him, and you can see these jagged wounds where he's been impaled on this. And you see this body sort of wiggling a little bit, not noticing your pass, and kind of taking half-hearted swat at a scourge that goes and then flies away. These are definitely tortured beings. As you keep going,
Seems like it.
As you keep going, you see more and more and more of them. Wrought iron trees line a trail that leads to the summit of the steep hill. Anguished knights are impaled on the tree's metal branches, their bodies writhing in torment as bloated sturges feast on their blood. As you get towards the top, there is a large tree with dozens of these impaled in the upper branches, and a few along the base, all the way down. And just beyond that, you see a low, squat, small building, a little bigger than a cairn, a mound of stones, a memorial of sorts at the top, looking out over the barren landscape.
Okay.
It'd be bad form to give a high five to that hand, right?
Pretty bad form.
You can go and take a look if you'd like.
Yeah, let's just go to the summit and see what's there.
Very well, very well. Let's go to the summit.
Oh, Yelfin is saying, sorry, I missed that, Yelfin. Are there bugs in the air? She could catch a bug in the mouth. Nice. Oh my god, the Philadelphia experiment. Absolutely, parts of this are. I love that. That's such. I gotta see that movie again. All right, back to the game. So you guys see this kind of squat, probably only about 15 feet across building, only about barely 10 feet tall, and this massive iron wrought tree just a little bit behind it. This stone cairn is right at the precipice of this, and a little bit further back. You see the beginnings of this massive tree. It's probably 40 feet in diameter, and you can see that it's stretching up almost another 100 feet up in the air.
Kind of whisper in Lulu's ear, let's investigate and see if this jogs your memory.
Mm-hmm. He flies down towards. You see, as you get a little bit closer, do a perception check for me.
$19.
Nice. Just at the opposite side of the precipice of the cliff, you see the cairn has a small doorway piled high in it. The stones piled high, and this small archway door, about maybe 6 feet tall and about the same wide. And then just on the other side of that, on this long outstretching limb off this tree, a good maybe 15 or 20 feet in the air, you see this one body, the only one that's really facing towards the cairn, looking out over the hellscape, dangling there, these large metal spikes protruding out of its chest. And you see a scourge come along, and the scourge does something a little different. With a 19, you see that a couple of the scourges come by, and they approach its face. And from this angle, it looks like they hover above it for a little while, and you just see them go, and this red liquid comes spraying out of them and down, and you see the head of the knight that's impaled there, long elven ears poking up from the side, natted, like wretched old blonde hair, and you see the head look up and almost begrudgingly licking away at the red liquid that the Sturgis had sprayed across its face. And then you see this body kind of shudder and sink a little bit more into the spikes and drop its head again. He's directly across, looking out over this cairn entrance. What do you want to do?
Okay. Are we landing? I assume.
Yeah. If you want to head up and investigate this, you come out. There's actually a little bit of besides the massive tree nearby, there's a pretty wide path at this point. It's a good 30 feet wide, dropping off on the straight cliff on the far left, and a gentle slope off to the right. There are boulders and other rises as the hill goes down, providing some cover from that direction. You can't see out that way. It's quite uninterrupted, but to the left, you see the far side of the sticks from where you came. You see the watchtowers. You see the roiling. You see parts of lava flow on the far side. And of course, much closer, you're about 40 feet away from this massive tree and the entrance to the cairn. You all touch down?
So
Yeah.
I think we're just gonna stay in a tight formation, right? Like, probably like Bela in the front, Falurie in the rear, and me in the middle with Lulu. Is that fine?
Sounds good.
Yep.
All right, so as you approach the building, give me another stealth check. You're welcome, Darmita. I could let the one ride.
No.
We got 37 this time.
23.
14.
All right, this time it's Fenris who has a little bit of a stumble as he goes walking forward and catches himself looking upwards to the top of this massive tree above him, and this longer branch sticking out over towards the cairn. Just kind of watching that, you stumble and you kick a couple of rocks and they go down the path, and it's a general slope so away from the hill, so thankfully they didn't go over the edge. You did make a little rattle, and you see you see that one body that's dangling there kind of stiffen and go still for a moment. Who's there? And you can see the back of its head. If I turn around, my mic won't pick me up, but you can see just the edge of the back of its head and the side of its face a little bit as it turns, and he can't quite turn his head all the way around. Who's there? I heard you.
Oh, you didn't.
Since I've already kind of given myself away, I'm going to walk away from the groups towards him, and I'm going to say, just a traveler. And I'll be motioning them to kind of stay a bit away from me and be quiet.
His feet kind of sway in the wind, and he stays fairly still. A few more Sturges buzz by, but he just ignores them. What brings you to this precipice? My master isn't here right now. And you see you. Oh yeah. He kind of, you hear him gurgle for a second, and then spit, and this large bloody wad hits the ground, and you hear it. This rasping sound. This. It takes you a second to realize. It's almost like he's chuckling, and it ends in this wrenching sob. I served many and not enough. Do I get to see your face, or will you be a voice on the wind?
I'll kind of walk just so that he can get in line of sight.
Mm-hmm. And so you
And-
can see his face.
Yeah.
You see a sunken, what would have probably once been a strong soldier of a man, still wearing armor, some of it looking fairly familiar. He looks almost like he's got embellishments in his armor that remind you of El Terrell. You also see immediately that his face is gaunt and sunken eyes, rimmed with red, his skin incredibly pale. And when he speaks, his smooth elven features twisted in this visage of undeath, and these two long canines when he opens his mouth. Well met, stranger. What brings you to hell and Haruman's Hill?
Revenge brings me here. A way out is what now brings me to Haruman's Hill. Who are you?
My name is Jander. Was Jander Sunstar. I have served many in my time. Now I serve in pain. And he looks down and you see these large, like foot-long, hooked tree limbs coming out, piercing right through his center of his torso and through one arm and another one a little bit lower down. He's been hung here like an ornament.
Are you a knight of Pelor?
I was. At one point. My second chance at life didn't turn out so good. I was cursed. And he smiles, the fangs. And I sought to redeem myself by serving the light. And when I found a zealous, ambitious angel who didn't shun my service, I thought to redeem myself, save my soul. We charged through the portal into Avernus together. Haruman, Zaria, Nashida, and the others. But this place was more than even I could imagine in my darkest times. It seemed like all of hell rose up to fight us, invading unwelcome celestials. Even the demons set aside their war momentarily. But some stayed and fought, and others, we turned and ran. We ran back through the gate, back through the way gate opened by the angel, back to El Terrell. pursued, and we... He kind of blinks, almost remembering himself for a second, and looks down at you and takes a good long look at you.
At the mention of my mother's name, I'm gonna take a very careful step forward, toward in that direction.
His head pivots and takes you in. What? You seek revenge? And you? What do you seek? He says to Darmita. Or who?
Well, I guess, I don't seek anything right now. I'm just here helping out.
You say you ran and made it out, but here you are, paled on a tree.
I sought to steal my soul back after the curse. After I was bitten and cursed to drink the blood of living men, elves, anyone I could suckle on. I was always pious, for that's the joke, I suppose. And so, I sought to serve the light, and thought I could redeem myself here, but when I fled and I went back and we sealed that portal, well... I had promised myself to the eye, as it goes by now. I signed, I sealed, I bartered, and that is not a chain that can be broken easily. And when I could bear the shame, some 20, 30 years of shame, living such as it is, I threw myself on Pelo's mercy and chose to face the sun. It seems my prayers went unanswered. And so I awoke here, like all the rest of the damned, those who sealed their fates with vows. I went against my promise and betrayed my commander. And for that, I'll hang here. Falurie, at the base of the tree, you can actually see etched in the iron from where you're standing. There are words. Do you speak Infernal?
Nope.
Okay. You definitely make out, not a plaque, but it's sort of in place of a plaque. Names. Lots of them. You do a quick count and compare the size of this massive tree and count at least 25, 30 different bodies dangling and somewhat twitching. At a glance, you'd hazard to guess that these are probably names and something else written with the names.
I can relay the information to... Does anybody else speak Infernal, or...
All of us.
Ah,
You are currently hidden. You'd have to break stealth if you want to talk to them.
no, I can't even just like throw a rock. No, alright, well... I value my stealth more, so I'm gonna stay.
And with your stealth, a sturge comes flying just past your head as you're tucked in right next to a tree. You're in the dim light, though, so it literally cannot see you. You are invisible. And it's off to go feed on one of these things.
Can I catch it in my mouth?
You can... Well, they're not small. I mean, they are kind of small. I don't have the stats for sturge right in front of me, but they are...
These
Probably-
sturge are tiny. They're like squirrel-sized.
Yeah, the bigger ones are probably on the way to, small dog. And the smaller ones are definitely like squirrels, and some are tiny, like itty bitty, and some of them are good rat-sized sturges. They are well fed.
Well, I had rations before going, so I'm okay.
That good berry taste is still in your mouth. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Jander kind of sways gently in the wind in front of you. Lulu is on the cliff kind of near where Falurie was. Kind of takes a few... actually generally preferring to hover. And you look over, and now that Lulu's not being ridden anymore, it's resorted to a smaller form, which is only about... it would be... Hollyphant size of a little bit smaller than its larger form. Kind of big chair size. And it comes a little bit within sight and looks up, and you hear... And then, after a few seconds, out, the Hollyphant morphs into the old man, naked. Comes walking over towards Darmita, and walks forward and clutches her hand and pulls and points. I remember him. Jander. Jander looks at the Hollyphant and does this. Just unable to contain the, emotional, discomfort, and just... It's like your worst moment. Just walking casually up naked.
Okay.
That might be an episode title. Your worst moment walking casually up naked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, let this play out. But
All right. Lulu kind of clutches Darmita's hand and tugs her a little bit and then says, I remember him, and you saw in the dream. I remember the betrayal when they fled. The combined forces of Elturel and those aligned. When Zeriel raised her army, well, they pointed and points at all the bodies hanging. Many turned and fled and left us. I'm sorry. Don't know. I didn't remember why. I've remembered this place. This is not a good place. Wait. You've come back, says Jander. You. And you. Your face. He turns to Darmita and says, you have a face I've seen before.
Oh, do I? I've never met you.
Perhaps I am mistaken.
Yes, probably.
And he casts this look as though he's trying to see beside him. A little bit further back towards the trunk, and he just can't quite turn his head around, impaled as he is. Do a perception check for me, Darmita.
Not investigation, huh?
Oh, you could do investigation if you want to get a little closer.
No, I don't. I'll take the 10.
All right. Most of the tree where there's a convenient spot to hang betrayer knight is pretty full. There are a couple spots that don't seem to be very that don't currently have a body in them. Falurie. Actually, do a perception check, Fenris.
$13.
You kind of track where Jander's looking, and you see a spot. There's red running down. It's very close to the trunk, which is why Jander can't see it from this angle. And you see these maybe 3 or 4 barbed spikes and a red stain, now turned dark brown. Just down the tree a little bit, like there was someone there.
Someone there. Who are you looking for, Jander? Maybe we can help each other out here. Some small way. I'm going to try to persuade him to help us in some way.
Sure. Go ahead and roll persuasion.
Sure. $13.
You cannot help me, little man. No one can. I am hung here, condemned to the 9 hells. And I will suffer, as many before me have, and many more. Watch what promises you make. Your companion reminds me of someone. But it is no matter now.
I give a big sigh. I'm gonna look at I'm gonna ask him, is there anything worthwhile in the cairn? And who is your master? Is he coming by anytime soon? Should we be worried?
You should pray that he never comes back. That is where he sleeps when he sleeps, which has not been for some time. He comes and goes. Lately, he's been very busy. It's been quiet. Been nice. That is the resting spot. One who remained faithful, even more so now, to the Archdevil. Haruman. He went by in that time. And now, who knows? Off to bring more soldiers into the fight, I suspect. Drawing more.
If there was a way to get you off this tree and away from all of this, what would it be? You've got nothing to lose right now. So you might as well just say something, if there is something to say. We're no friend of Zariel, or anyone faithful to him.
I'm afraid it is too late for us. Our souls are sealed when we signed that script. We put down our names in service. Bonds. Etched. Now in blood. I know not where they're kept. Those who did not betray, they might be freed. But us, we're kept here. And this is the first time you've seen him move his arms as he reaches up and kind of taps the tree branch. And there's this little vein of pulse of this orangish white light down the tree branch as it resonates, almost like a slight crystal, and the whole thing just shudders ever so slightly. The pattern fading after about 10 feet behind him, stretching through him and back into the tree as though it's the lifeblood of the tree. Hey. You may be just in time. Or too late. My master approaches. What do you want to do?
If he's approaching, I want to hide.
All right. What are you doing, Darmita?
Yeah, I'm gonna don't think I have a minute. Like, how far is he?
You can go ahead and roll a perception check. As you look around, Falurie too, you can all do that.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn invisible.
Why isn't it rolling? There we go. Ooh, not 20.
Ooh,
Nice.
just a 10.
Okay.
I'm probably distracted trying to hide.
Yeah. Okay, and
19.
All right, nice. All right, so 19 for Falurie, 10 for Gordon, and nat 20, which brings to 21 for Darmita. So you're busy. You look around for any sign of incoming trouble, and you see a slight swirl of the cloud above you. Probably a good 600 meters away, like up into the sky, and you see this just an ever so slightly like twist in the cloud, as though something just plunged through it, and you can just a little whiff of like something blurred and moving, and it's really hard to make out from this distance. But you can see something above and on about a 45-degree angle out over the sticks currently. Darmita, you see that as well. Falurie, Gordon, you're busy looking for a place to hide. There's not a lot up here. It's kind of exposed, so you can go for the crypt and hide in that, or not the crypt, the cairn. You could hide behind the tree. There are different trees dotting all the way down the path, so that's probably the easiest one. You could also try to duck behind a boulder and hope not to be seen.
Gonna go for a boulder.
Okay. So you go for a boulder and go ahead and roll stealth. Darmita, with that nat 20, you kind of take a few steps out of the away from the edge, just trying to get a little bit of distance. While you're rolling a stealth check, go ahead, Darmita. Your eye trails along the tree.
Yeah, the reason I was looking was because I wanted to kind of gauge how much time I had, because if I had enough time, I wanted to use my hide in plain sight.
How long does that take?
A minute. to create the camouflage from any natural occurring
All
material.
right, you can start doing that. It might not finish in time, but it might be worth it. It's your call.
It says you can try to hide by pressing myself up against a solid surface.
Okay, the nearest thing would be the tree.
All right, I'll do that.
Okay, so you press up against the tree, and Fenris ducks behind. Falurie is invisible off to the side. You start kind of just dragging a few bits of rock and dust and kind of covering your cloak and hunching it up over your face, and you find yourself, Darmita, you just have one eye kind of peeking out while the cloak is kind of hiding your shape, and just trusting to your instincts and your ability to go invisible under darkness, and just really nudging right into the tree. And you notice that being, it's shifting almost like it's in one spot for a moment, and then a few seconds later it's further along, and a few seconds later it's further along. And did you roll stealth?
No, I was gonna check to see if I got the hide in plain sight or
What
not.
does that do for you? It gives you advantage?
Yeah, it gives me a +10 to my stealth.
All right. Yep, you can go ahead and roll stealth with that. I'll say there's enough time at this point.
Okay.
You had enough warning from Jander.
That's a 28.
No, that's a 38, because you still have Pass Without Trace.
Yeah.
And they would stack.
Welcome to the club.
30.
You are incredibly well hidden, tucked up against this tree, your face kind of pressed, a few inches away from the bark. And you see this shape emerge right at the edge of the cliff. It's almost like this puff of smoke, and this head emerges, an equine head pokes out as this thing leaves the ethereal plane. And you see the face you've seen once before, this nightmare horse with burning red eyes and mane, as it steps out, and just this click, click, click out onto the cliff face. You also see on the back of this nightmare, kind of casting off the ethereal plane like a cloak, you see a face and armor. You see a heavily armored with spikes and plate mail and a full helm, these red glowing eyes, a massive sword slung off to one side. It's a Narzugan. You fought one of those when you were just outside the High Hall. You recognize this. It's essentially a high knight of hell, standing there atop a 9 foot, sitting 9 foot above on the back of this massive nightmare. And the sturges fly away as though startled, and it barely takes them in, and this being looks over at Jander Sunstar dangling.
What news?
Nothing, my liege, of import. And you see Haruman open his fist and then close it. And you see that orangish pulse, but instead of going from the top of the tree down, you see it go from the root of the tree, just up and out through the limb and into Jandar. And you see him stiffen, and his legs and arms like go writhing, and you see him suddenly relax as it leaves him.
Didn't you know I always know when you're lying to me?
Fenris, your breath catches in your throat. You know that voice. It's twisted and resonant and strange, That's the voice that's haunted your dreams for years. Falurie, you see this Narzugan. Doesn't appear to see any of you. You're huddled and hiding in a corner, invisible, just praying to God, because these things are... You've heard tales. Darmita, you're a little distracted when you look up at the tree branch in front of you. And etched in infernal, foot above your head, you see a name hanging below the empty spot. Nishida. High crimes against a commanding officer. Her spot currently dangling empty. Old blood staining the tree in front of you. The Narzugan dismounts from his horse and walks forward to the tortured Jandar.
Now, let me rest a while, and then you will tell me what news.
He turns around and starts walking into the cairn. Fenris?
Okay, so when you said haunts my dreams, he's that voice in the dreams?
He's twisted and turned in a way that he wasn't back in Salem Rock. But that's not surprising, because he should be dead.
Yeah.
What was once Austrin is now walking into this low-lying cairn in front of you. He has to duck a little to get in. Disappears into the shadow, the nightmare pawing at the ground, leaving these charred marks outside the door with a horrible whinny. Your prey is here.
How far away is he from the cliffside?
It's pretty close to the edge. It's about... the far end of the cairn probably has maybe 2 feet before the edge. And the whole thing is only about 15 feet. It's kind of roughly circular. It's 15 feet across. It's a small stone room.
Okay, and there's no door. There's a door, so is he just about to open the door?
It's an open
entranceway, so he's just going into...
So he's just walking into shadow. He's walking forward, and you can see him kind of look left and right, and then kind of walk to his left. And with that, I think we're going to take a short break.
Okay.
All right. Hi, Internet. How am I going to torture these people later? You're always welcome to make suggestions. We're happy to hear. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when we come back. All right. Don't forget, you're always welcome to make suggestions for episode title names as well. And we'll be right back in a few minutes. Oh, now we're back. I didn't have audio for a second. Hi, we're back. We're about to jump in, see what Fenris is about to do, given that he is now face-to-face with a dead man. Or was it a man? Who knows? Who knows? Anyway, I guess we'll pick right up after we left. If you're jumping just in to join us now, don't forget you can always say hey in chat. We'll love to hear from you. And also, we change our game around for you if you want to spend some plot points, if you watch, and we'll fit it into the game somehow. And Yaofen? No. It's too far, man. Torture Baby Shark on an infinite loop. No. Even hell has some standards, man. You not heard of the Geneva Convention?
In hell?
That's true. The jurisdiction's a little bit... Anyway, let's dive back in.
I didn't know they liked war games. Sweet.
True.
All right. So he goes inside and
Yep.
lies
So
down.
he doesn't lie down, but he goes inside and walks in there, and
Doors.
and there's no door to close, so you can just kind of make out a little bit of movement inside. You see him reach up. You're kind of watching from your hiding spot, and you see him reach up and pull off this helm, and you see the same wispy gray hair, the same kind of military crew cut, a man in his middle ages, but no longer a man. His skin is etched, blackened, and there's veins of red running up and down. He is definitely a devil, and yet still the man that you saw and knew. You see him he puts a shield aside. You see him put this massive twisted blade down against the ground, against the stone. And you can just make this out in the shadows as you're observing. You're almost just holding your breath.
I quickly look over at Darmita, and I mouth.
Sorry, you're actually off the camera right now, but
Oh, sorry.
I don't know if you can aim that down a little bit.
That's super helpful.
So I glance over at Darmita from my hiding spot.
You look for her, and you're like,
I
where
can't
did
see
she
her.
go? You know where she was.
Okay, so he put his sword down.
You see him putting a shield down. He reaches down and pulls off a gauntlet, puts it aside, pulls off a boot, and he's still wearing like chain underneath this, but he's taking off his armor and kind of stacking it in the corner.
Okay, I can still see him though.
You can make it out, yeah.
Okay. I am going to quick cast telekinesis.
All right. Okay. It is. Does that have a verbal component?
So I mean, I could cast subtle.
Sure, call me.
You know what? Yeah,
You
to your
both, though,
point,
right?
yeah, I'll just subtle because we're not in combat. So I'll subtle cast so he can't see and just get the drop on him.
Sure. Okay. So you spend
Yep.
the sorcery point reaching out to the shadows around you. Just you whisper the spell into your hand, and it becomes this thread that you can then weave. You blow on it ever so slightly, and this invisible force-like hand comes to obey your very will.
Okay, and I grab him.
All right. First of all, just so we can keep things on track, let's get you to roll initiative. This will be a surprise round, obviously. He is not expecting you. I'm also going to try and fix the cameras because they got done all messed up.
21.
21. All right. I should probably write this down. What do you think? I think this is relevant information. All right. 21 for Fenris. Are you wanting in on this? Anybody else? Why don't we all roll for initiative?
I got 21 as well.
Nice.
We got 27, but
I'm sorry. Say that again, Falurie?
27.
27? Monks, man. Monks. All right.
So,
Because you have alert or something?
I think observant or something, yeah. It's because of feet. Let's see which one. Yeah, alert. You're right.
Yeah, that's why.
Nice. That is some rolls, folks.
So, having not encountered one of these before, nor having history, why such a bad thing? What do you guys want me to do?
Well, at this point, I don't know that you can communicate that without giving away your position.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm gonna. Well, in character and everything, then I'm just gonna hold an action then.
All right, what action do you want to hold?
I'll hold an attack.
All right. Ranged or...
No,
Okay.
so melee.
A melee attack for anything that gets up in your face. Now, they are fairly far away, probably a good 30 feet from that little building. So it would be a hustle for you to get there. But actually, no, you're a monk. You can just go wherever you want to go, because you're a monk. Rules don't apply to monks.
Do you have a map then? Or?
I suppose we'll get a map out. All right, fine.
No.
I should have known that.
Micro instead of macro, you know.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, let me pull that up 1 second. All right. We
I
are
hate to
going.
be that guy.
No. You got to have a situation going on here. So you can probably now see the map as I load it in here. And it's going to look slightly different than what's appearing in front of you in just 1 second.
Blacked out right now, as far as I
I
can
know.
tell.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that spot right there, right on the edge of that cliff, consider this the cairn. So the kind of the entrance to it being just north of that, or so the doorway kind of, this would be considered the doorway, and everything on the inside there would actually be inside the pile of rocks. And then the large cliff face behind you is just kind of rolling cliff, and then the tree I'll draw in 1 second. Come on.
There's like a series of trees, right? It's not just like the one that
There are, but the other ones are
Jandar
pretty.
is?
The other ones are. This is so big. The other ones are
Okay, fair
pretty
enough.
far away.
that makes sense.
So I will draw in that tree in just 1 second. So the edge of it goes kind of that. Let's just say that tree with those random spikes and jutting out, and then there's the longer kind of spike on which Jandar is dangling. Is that one protruding? And there's a few others, and it's about that big. So y'all can go ahead and place yourselves. Can you see that? Okay.
This circle's like a trunk. Is that what this is?
Yeah, it's probably a little. It's maybe not quite as big around as that, but the top part would be. So yeah, that's about right. I'm trying to grab it, but it's not letting me.
I mean, I would say I've been kind of like, hiding, something like that?
Yeah. Now, Darmita, you would have been right up against that tree. You were pressed right in here. And Falurie, actually, you're a little bit further back than that, Fenris. You would have been hiding kind of in this little nook. There are some boulders and stuff.
Where, like here?
Yeah, let's say, you were kind of in that little nook right
Sure,
in there.
done. Okay.
And I'm going to put this on the screen so that people can see what we're talking about. I think I fixed the cameras, so don't worry about
Folks, we'll get your eyes on in just 1 second.
There you go. All right, having a good game over there, Darcy? You decided not to join this
Great
particular
game.
party? Nice. I appreciated you were throwing the art up there for a few minutes. That was fun. You found that perfectly timed, too. I was like, yes. All right. That's why you're the art guy. All right. So
where would you see me?
Ooh,
Standing
that's
about
nice.
30 feet away from.
yeah, you seem to be pretty good about there, and you were pretty much invisible, so that's fine.
I forgot that for some reason, after I draw stuff, I can't select it anymore.
I know, I have that same problem, so it's not just
I
you.
don't know what's up with that. Well, it might be something to do with, like, layers.
There. I like the etching, though. That's good. All right. Fenris, you've cast your telekinetic powers. So far, haven't done anything with them. What do you want to do? Actually, Falurie is holding an action. Fenris and Darmita at the same time. Darmita, you have just made out in Infernal the name of your mother. She was here. It's her brown blood staining the tree, dangling down. She was probably about 15 feet above you. And the blood actually runs down pretty much right in front of where you're sitting or standing. All right. So, what do you want to do, Fenris and Darmita? And then we'll resolve it. Just declare it, and then we'll resolve.
I am
Oops, I see.
using my telekinesis to silently grab
Nice.
Haruman.
Sorry, I just noticed that our cameras are still kind of messed up, so I have to fix that. So you're going to silently grab Haruman. Make your roll.
Okay, it's a resisted ability check.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to spend a luck point. Oh, maybe not. Never mind. Well, that didn't go so well.
So you reach out telekinetically and you just grasp. And the funny thing is, you do grasp something. And it grabs and pulls free. And you kind of give it a little tug and it moves 5 feet towards you. And it's the chest plate, which is just unbuckled. And the pauldron's attached. And like the armor just that he was taking off, you grab a piece of that and pull it forward, and it's dangling in midair in front of you.
Well, I let it go, and I just, you know what? Like, it's a surprise round, and I've revealed myself, so I'm like,
yeah,
Austrin.
Nice, you call out Austrin. As you let go of the armor, it hits the ground and then resists crumpling, and then stands up. This hollow armor beginning to, and you see the helm skitter across the ground and snap up on its head. This hollow armor dimly lit from within with this reddish glow. And you see Austrin standing there just in chain and a gambeson underneath. And he looks up to you standing and just blinks. His face, very familiar, but it's almost like you just sepia toned or changed the filter. So instead of his pale kind of human skin, he's got that cracked, blackened visage, but it's still his face. And he looks over. The boy. My, aren't we full of surprises? All right. Coming up next, Darmita, what do you want to do?
Yeah, I cast my Hunter's Mark, 3rd level, and then I'm going to... I see him on the side.
You pick up that it is Austrin, but you can see this other suit of armor assembling itself. A potential other threat.
Okay. I'm going to go after Austrin.
Okay. Okay, he is Hunter's marked.
And I will take... First shot is 23. Second... How the hell did I lose that? Okay, that's weird.
23 hits.
13, does that hit?
Unfortunately, even without his plate, 13 does not hit.
I will use my Stalker's Flurry. And I can make a second, or I basically get a redo.
Nice.
On one attack per round.
So as you do that, this almost unbidden howl begins to just... And you keep saying fury, so I'm going to roll with that. And so you just start to just call out almost barbarian-esque, and you just channel some of your anger. And you fire another shot. Just... The first one has only just left the bow, and you're like, I know it's not going to hit. This next one, just almost fast, like Quicksilver.
So 23, 28, and 21.
Okay, that's going to hit. All of those are going to hit him. So go ahead and roll some damage. Or was that the damage?
That was to hit.
That was to hit, and then damage is Okay, so for the first one, it's 8. And then 28.
28.
And
41.
yeah, 42.
Total
41.
of
41, but don't you have a D8 that you roll?
Yeah, plus a D8.
So 41 plus a D8. 42.
that is incredible. Just first round, just all these bow shots just chaining one after another as these arrows strike too, and just, the only wisp is on the back of his neck. He gets this little I'm in danger, and bam, 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 the arrows start slamming into his chest, and the smug smile almost slips from his face as he looks over and sees you. All right, coming up next.
At that point, when I make eye contact with him, I just...
Nice. Blown a kiss. I love it. All right, coming up next. It's his turn.
Isn't it surprise round over?
That's true, actually. That's the end of the surprise round. So, Falurie, what do you want to do?
Doesn't...
All right, well, I'm gonna fly to... Go ahead.
Nothing came within Falurie's range, so he didn't actually trigger.
All right, well, now I'm gonna...
I will place the helmed
Yeah.
horror, which stepped into existence. There's actually nobody there. You're fighting shadows. So, that's not what I want. All right. So, in the entryway, you see that Narzugan there. You also see a very similar looking thing, but it's actually just the armor that he'd been wearing. And that was dangling closer to Fenris. I'm going to just rename that real fast.
Where's the nightmare?
Yeah, that's coming up next.
Cool.
1 sec. There's the...
I wasn't sure if Ostrin's riding it or not.
No, the nightmare
Or not
was
Ostrin,
actually
Pyramid. Whatever.
waiting just up here, just outside. I
Cool.
forgot to mention that. And...
Oh, by the way, this is
Oh, by
giant
the way,
horse.
Gigantor horse. Apparently, it's huge.
So, was Darmita shooting this one, or?
Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna switch the icons just so we don't get confused. The knight is going to be the armor, and the Narzugan will be Ostrin.
That makes, even though he took out the armor and didn't have the knight, this still makes more sense. You're right. Yeah.
All right.
All right. So, I see all three. I take it.
Yes, you do.
Okay. And I saw that Darmita shot here.
Yep.
So I'm gonna go here.
Those were
Sounds like
heavy
it is.
shots. Yeah. That armor is still busy assembling itself, by the way.
All right. So I'm gonna hit this person here.
All right. You kind of
Yes.
glance over at Fenris as you approach, and you saw Darmita just unleash on this thing. So you just run right in there and start wailing
Oh
on
yeah,
it.
that's the only that's how I know that. Okay, now it's actually hostile. So
Yeah, this party
and
has
I
started.
saw exactly, and I saw the arrows going towards this one. So I'm like, okay, I guess this is the person they want us to get. So we'll do.
Your
Town
recon
strike.
mission went to active fire real quick.
Yep.
All right. Ooh. 21 will hit Ostrin.
All right, so that's the first attack.
Hmm.
Awesome.
Are your claws?
Yes, they're magical.
Yeah, they're magical. Just double checking.
Okay, so 5 for first one. Ding.
Nice.
Okay, and
Every
then we
bit
get-
counts,
let's
man.
go for second attack. $25.
That hits.
Yeah. Okay. Another 5, and I'll
Another
use
5.
a key point for what's that? Jeez,
Flurry
I
of
haven't
blows
used it in a
or
long time.
stunning?
Stunning strike.
Stunning
Yeah.
strike. All right, that'll be a Constitution saving throw. Oh, sorry, wrong button.
Oh, Munchkin's awake, so
Of course you gotta.
That'll be it. That'll be it after.
That's fair. Unfortunately, the stun does not take as he gets a 27. All right.
Can Lulu do initiative roll?
Absolutely. Do you want to drag the old man in? Does anybody have his icon?
I don't.
Don't think I do.
Okay, I have it somewhere.
No, I never had it transferred over.
No, I had Ben Coombe.
All right, I have him somewhere.
Is he in his like mortal form or is he in his Hollywood form?
I think he had become mortal.
Yeah,
Okay.
he changed.
He's mortal and
Yeah.
Where did that go? Should be here somewhere. Sorry, folks. Excitement, I know. There he is, the old hermit. And he will have been pretty far back.
There it is. A Holophant.
Yeah, he was hiding back, probably like back here somewhere. Kind of hard to see, but that is him. But he is in old man form at the moment. I don't think I can make that happen for some reason.
so I rolled a 3 for him. I don't know what his initiative is.
There we go. So I have now made him possible to be manipulated by you. So there you go. His character sheet actually is there. His initiative is +0. So 3. 3 it is. The glorious 3. All right, cool. Let's dive back in. So that was Falorie's turn. And we now have Lulu kind of peeks around. You can, Darmita, you glance back. You can just see Lulu kind of standing amongst the rocks, naked and looking interested, but a little bit frightened, as things seem to be changing pace. Coming up next, I believe
Falurie could do Flurry of Blows.
we'll see.
Falurie, you could do Flurry of Blows if you wanted, right?
I could, yes.
If you want, it's up to you.
Sure. Well, hey man, I got 8 key points left. Might as well use them.
Even just in like part armor and like chain, he is. When you hit, it just feels like you're hitting almost rock. Like it has barely any give. His strength is his skin is pretty naturally toughened. So he's a tough nugget even out of armor.
All right, so Flurry of Blows. Here we go. Yeah. No. 12.
12 unfortunately does not hit, and that really hard impact as he looks down at you.
16.
All right. 16 does hit. Wait, tie goes to the defender?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Meets beats. So, yeah, that does hit as you're just like, he looks down at you and you're like, whack, one more shot across. You bring an elbow up. An 8. Nice. All right. Falorie's been unloading on him. Coming up next, Fenris, Darmita. You're on basically the same time. What do you want to do?
With my action, I am going to try to grab him again with telekinesis.
All right.
Contested roll.
Contested roll. And it's strength, right?
Yep.
Yep. So that is
It doesn't work.
23.
And I am going to...
Like one of his legs shifts slightly as you're... And he's dragging along the ground and he just bears down.
I am going to bonus action. I am going to, let's see. I still actually have a lot of sorcery points. I am going to bonus action cast, and I'm going to cast
I believe you're. Oh no, you haven't cast any spells this round. You're just maintaining
No, I just used my
telekinesis.
action.
So yeah, you can
Yeah.
cast any kind of spell you like.
Yeah, I'm gonna bonus action cast Blight on him.
Nice. All right. What's the save on that?
So it's a con saving throw, DC 17.
Oof. That's going to be 26.
He's rolling crazy good, so
Yeah.
he takes half damage.
He is rolling with advantage as well.
Touche. Right. So.
All right.
88
So
by
the
two.
blight begins to just curl along his dark gray skin, and just you see these little blisters start to form, but it doesn't seem to be digging in quite as much as you would like.
He still takes a fair bit of damage. He takes 13.
13. Nice. All right. He is taking damage, but again, he did manage to resist the worst of the effects. All right. Next up, Darmita.
All right. A 28 and a 22 to hit.
Those both hit. Just he's beginning to look a bit like a porcupine. All these arrow shafts sticking out of him. You suddenly have the terrifying thought that, the 60 or so arrows you brought to hell, maybe 100 arrows you brought with you, you might need to get some of those back at some point. You keep this up.
27.
27 damage.
Yep.
Nice. All right. Wow, that's a big couple rounds. Okay. Coming up next, Ostrin. Ostrin, his smug smile is totally gone from his face as he looks at you all. And says, oh, wait, hold on, sorry. As he says,
Oh, we're not done yet.
and he reaches. Oh, I hit a button. He reaches up and just brushes down his body, just snapping the arrow shafts as he goes. The arrows just out of his body, and he's just like, and this red glow pulses from in the bottoms of his hands, and he's just like, and as his hands come away, the wounds are just knitting themselves together, and all the arrows just fall to the ground below. He's healed himself.
What about mentally, though?
Quite a bit. Well, no, he's probably mentally still scarred from that. He's definitely...
That's good. That's good.
Meanwhile, coming up after that, that's a big thing he had to use, though. That's pretty... All right. Oh, wait, he can... Nope, that's only one thing that he can do. Normally he can do more things, but that healing was a big one, so he doesn't get to do something else. However, the
Well, if
armor...
I may,
Yeah.
you were asking for a suggestion from me previously. Does that
Oh,
still
boy.
count?
Which team are you on? You're not even there.
I mean, I'm not there.
I know. I'm happy to hear it. Go for it. You're welcome
I thought
to
it
play
might be
Jando as
interesting
well.
if the tree picked up, joined the fray.
I
Is
like
tree
it.
soaked in blood of angels?
Whomping Willow?
I think we might
I
have
mean,
that.
Some
We're-
sort of infernal tree.
Whomping Willow it is.
Maybe it can't move. Maybe it can just slash around. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I love it. I'm going to take that plot point and I'm going to roll with it. I love it. Meanwhile, since it's the next thing on the thing, the armor, which was busy assembling itself, skittering along the ground, the last of the boots come along, the gauntlet, and the shield comes, and you see this empty armor, fully assembled, glowing red from within, kind of come on line and look over towards Fenris and starts just going, marching at him at a surprisingly weird clip for something that's it's nothing in the armor, but the armor itself is moving towards you, and the gauntlet had grabbed the large blade and comes running up to Fenris amongst the rocks. It's got it loses quite a bit of movement, like scrambling up this little precipice there, but it didn't have to go far, and it made it up next to Fenris and takes 2 big swipes. One of them just clang, and actually, sorry, the first one, let's resolve this in order. The first one is 21.
That will hit.
Okay. The first longsword strike just slashes out at you. That's going to do 12 damage, and can I get you to do a Constitution saving throw?
Sure. 26.
All right, so you pass. So you are not poisoned. Not that it would make much difference. You're not a melee guy, but that's what happens. Okay, so the first strike hits true and did some damage. Then he rears it back to plunge it through you and stabbing downwards. And you sidestep, and it wedges in between 2 rocks and just holds fast. And the armor kind of tugs. It tugs again. And on the nat 1, the blade is wedged. It can't get it out right now. So it's going to have some issues in a moment. At this point... Ooh.
I should roll con.
Hey, thanks very much for the raid, by the way. Cantripcast. Welcome to the stream. We're SideQuest Live, and we're in the middle of a battle in hell. Woohoo!
I'm gonna roll to con to keep my concentration.
Absolutely. Yes, please. Roll for concentration save.
And I'm gonna spend a luck point.
Of course you are. That's 2 luck points today. By the way, thanks for the follow.
I didn't spend the first one yet. The first one.
Thanks for the follow. We're getting the Cantrip cast and Ozzy Lives Forever, and thanks very much. Yeah, we're having a great time. And oh, by the way, something we do is you can watch for a bit, get some points, and you can spend some plot points and affect the game, make suggestions, and so on. They are currently fighting on Harumun's Hill, up on the top, facing an old enemy named Ostrin. But yes, thanks so much for the follow, and you too. Do not the cleric. That's fair. Yeah, you don't want to mess with the cleric. All right. Speaking of which, this party could maybe use a cleric. But anyway, so you spent your luck point.
Yep, and I got a 20, so I kept my concentration on telekinesis.
Nice, perfect. All right, so you still have telekinetics up. All right, coming up next, the Nightmare. It rears. It had started fading into ethereal, kind of just grazing, and then it boom bursts back. Its flame-covered mane just bursting back, and it looks towards Ostrin, and he gives this nod, and the Nightmare clambers up, and hold on, gotta decide what that Nightmare's gonna do.
The cleric says, if you kill one, they can get 1 wall, and Dono is my name.
Nice.
Dono the cleric. Sorry. Thank you.
Dono the cleric. I'm sorry. I thought it was Do Not the cleric. Dono the cleric. Very cool. And also, absolutely, Alphan. Silver hand. Nice. All right. So, yeah, the horse is going to just come up and try to clobber at Fenris if it can get there. It does not have that opportunity, so instead it's going to come back down around and go after Falurie and just try to clobber him from behind.
Do it.
Does 19 hit you?
Well, yeah.
All right, so that's going to be a heavy 13 points of bludgeoning damage and 7 points of fire damage as the flame-etched hooves slam into your back. Don't ever get kicked by a horse, especially a hell horse. All right, coming up next, we've got... okay, that's about it for now. Top of the order. Falurie.
Lulu does nothing?
Alright, so...
Right, Lulu's going to close a little bit and call out, Look out! The old man, naked as the day was born, further down, kind of running towards... He can't see Darmita. No, he can see Darmita. She's revealed herself by shooting like a half dozen arrows in like 6 seconds. So he comes running forward. Oh, I can help up, and it just gets to about there on his turn. All right, coming up next, top of the order, Falurie, our Arakocra monk.
So who do you guys want me to get? Keep on this guy? You guys have fought these guys before.
Take out the horse quickly.
Okay. So I turn to the horse and do an unarmed strike at him.
All right, Mr. Ed is yours.
Apparently not.
Oh dear.
Let's try the second attack.
Where is
Not
my...
even close.
Oh,
All right, so
Whose side are you
flurry
on?
of blows.
flurry of blows.
Jesus Christ.
It doesn't have the biggest of AC, but an 11 and a 12 are not going to cut it.
Tabarnak.
Oh my god. One more.
Another 11. Can he...
And that
Oh
one.
my.
Oh my god. All right. So, here's what happens. You're just... And this horse is shifting left and right to dodge the few, and it looks down at you. The last one, it opens its mouth and you punch in, but it's just flames inside, and you're just like, oh, I kind of missed. And then it clamps its mouth on your arm. And you're like, what? So you actually will have disadvantage on the next attack you make next round. Because of the nat one. Sorry, pal. I like to be mean with my nat ones. It's from my days playing Shadowrun, which I want to play next week, by the way. Anyway.
I'll start rolling up another character. Don't worry about it.
No worries, no worries. It's early days yet. All right, next up,
Exactly.
Fenris and Darmita.
Okay. I am going to grab a hold of Alstrin/Haruman again with telekinesis with my action.
All right, make your roll.
Tested roll.
Ooh. Alstrin
Very
is...
He doesn't have
Awesome.
advantage though.
He does because he's magic resistant. Oh no,
That's
this
only
is
for to resist.
Oh, that's true. So he's just rolling straight, which would be an 18.
But he's still
That's still pretty
wins.
heavy. That's
Because the club-
23.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So he has the same bonus as me. So it's basically we're straight rolling each other.
This is like when you fight the bad guy yet again later in the game from an earlier level, but now he's like, "Roar."
Roar. Okay.
Actually, he looks up at you and says,
Didn't you learn the first time, boy?
This isn't.
The offer still stands. If you want it, if there's anything left of you to serve the cause.
You guys have some strange friends.
all right, Darmita. Oh, did you have a bonus action or anything you want to do? Or move?
I could, yeah. I am going to... So the sword is planted in the stone, right?
Yeah, it's wedged. The
wedged.
sword by the helmed horror is wedged.
Okay. So I am going to start. He'll get an opportunity attack, but whatever.
Yeah.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and I'm going to do a bonus action, but do your opportunity attack.
All right. Does actually it goes? Oh, it's got disadvantage. Does 21 hit you?
He has +7 to hit, huh? Holy crap. Okay.
Oh, sorry, 20. 20.
20 does hit me, except I shield.
Nice. So it actually just goes to pull and it's wedged, so it just takes a swing at you with its fist. Its gauntlet. It doesn't even have a fist inside. And as it comes swinging towards your head, you just boom, up goes the shield, and you get clear. All right. What do you? That's your turn, Darmita. Unless you're going to do a bonus.
Yeah, I think I will.
Sorcerers and their bonuses, right?
Yeah. I think I'm going to bonus action blight the horse. Con saving throw, DC 17.
All right.
I don't know if he's more.
I need to just double check whether it's magic resistant or not. No, it is not.
It's not.
Oh, and
Oh.
it fails as the
Oh, good.
nightmare steed. It's just grabbed onto Falurie and is pulling it back. It's actually kind of dragging your wings are kind of holding you in place, trying to keep you upright as it's trying to pull you back. That's a lot.
And I. 1, 2, 3. It's pretty good. I'm going to spend a sorcery point to expand,
Yep, go ahead and empower that.
reroll to empower it. So I'm going to replace the 1, the 3, and the 3 4s actually. So I'm going to keep the 7, the 6, and the 8.
All right. So 21 plus whatever you roll.
Yep. Ooh, 52.
Seriously?
Seriously, 52.
All right, you just look up at this nightmare and it's dragging and you kind of lock eyes with it for a second. It's strange, fiendish nature. There's a strange intelligence to this beast and it locks eyes with you. And then the eye goes milky white and then blisters and pusses and it just begins to swell on one side. It lets go of Falurie and shaking its head back and forth. And it begins kind of nudging the ground, trying to claw at it, and you see this pestilence spreading from its eye across its face and over the ears, and the boils begin to come up, and then all of a sudden they begin to start to burst, and the eye itself is swollen out of shape, and it glares at you as it's like the one eye bursts, and it shudders and just begins to kick and thrash on the ground in this random circle.
Is it dead?
You dropped it.
Whoa.
That was
Okay.
that was to the
That was a very high
hit
roll.
point. Yeah, that was a good roll, man. That was well done. Nice
one thing going that
indeed,
way today.
Ben. Nice indeed. That's an epic blight. All right,
Yeah.
coming up next, Darmita.
Well, since he's taking care of that, that was going to be my next mark, but I will continue in the vein that I've been doing, and I'll look at Alstrin and smile, and see what he's got coming his way.
Ooh, crit.
Damn.
I think you're about to undo a lot of the healing he just did. Oh,
So
28.
I get to also crit my.
you know, with all the RP you guys do, I forget exactly how good you are at murder.
So yeah, I do get to crit my.
Yeah, so you roll
Anything
3d6.
you roll. Anything you roll gets critted.
So that's all right.
39.
Yeah.
In a single shot. Whack! Ostrin's just brushed off your stuff, and he looks towards Fenris, and he starts to raise his hand up, kind of in that direction, a little bit left of Fenris. And all of a sudden, the arrow just takes him, like, right in the underarm, just... And you see the arrow poke out at the top of his other shoulder, and he's just like... And he turns and looks at you, Darmita, and says...
I am going to stretch you on that tree like I did your mother.
And I just look at him and go, come and give it a try.
Nice.
And I'm gonna move toward Fenris.
There's a bit of bad blood here for those who are just tuning in. You can't tell by the look on Fenris's face. All right, you stand next to Fenris. More shots incoming? Or that was 30. That was it? All right, nice. All right, coming up next, Ostrin. He looks at you both and says,
I will win. In time.
he then finishes his motions towards the tree, and there's this great tearing sound. It's like this strange squealing iron sound from up on the tree, and all of a sudden these bodies just start dropping out of the tree and like cratering from like 30-40 feet up. Many of those cursed knights that have been held up in the tree start to fall like sacks of bone, and their armor clambering to the ground. And then you see just near where Fenris was standing, a few feet up, Janda's Sunstar hits the ground, his legs bending at a weird angle, and then he straightens himself as he rises, and he looks at Ostrin. And
Does the
Ostrin...
song "It's Raining Men" start playing, or?
Yeah, exactly. All these cursed betrayers who once served the Eye of Pelor falling from the tree. 30 of them. 35 of them. Jander and the others begin to stand up, and they look at Ostrin, and Ostrin turns to them and says,
I will free the soul of the ones who bring me their hides. Serve me now.
and with that, I hope that's okay. I didn't do the Whomping Willow thing. It just seemed like
that's beautiful.
all the soldiers, 35 of these, including the undead vampire Jandus, turn to you. And almost with a look of apology on his face, Jandus Sunstar says, "It was nice to speak with you, but a deal is a deal." And those long fangs, and he starts to join the fight. You guys find yourselves pretty surrounded.
Okay.
Next up,
Falurie.
actually,
Sorry, Helmed Horror.
Yeah, Helmed Horror comes moving up towards Falurie, jumps down off that, and actually, he's going to jump down and follow you after. You see it pull, and pry the sword free. Then it comes jumping down over the rocks and moves 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Manages to catch right up to you there, Fenris, and takes a couple of swings at you. The first one clanging off the rock just above you swung totally wild. The second one's going to be a 21.
21 hits. Even
All right,
with shield.
Yeah, so that's going to be 8 damage, 8 slashing damage to you.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to start copying and pasting some of these baddies, just wherever they happen to land off of that tree. Actually, several of them have landed down near where Lulu is and begin to turn and grab at Lulu. So all these guys down here, that's going to be their turn as they begin to move in on Lulu and surround him. And the old man, naked old man, looks back and forth, looks at Darmita, and then as they start to grab him and start to drag him, I'm dragging the tree. Hold on. So they begin. How am I dragging this tree the whole damn time? All right, these ones only. 5, 10, 15, 20. Oh, they can only get 15. So they only get to here with Lulu as they're dragging him off this way. Coming up next, the nightmare is dead. All right, top of the order, Falurie.
All right, I'm gonna do something that I generally would never do as a Shadow Monk, but I'm gonna use the Gem of Brightness, and I'm gonna speak the second command word, which is Shadow Bane, and it expends 1 charge and causes the gem to fire a brilliant beam of light at the creature. Creature must make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw or become blinded for a minute.
And this is why you don't give away magical items and then totally forget you gave them. Nice job, bud. All right, so
tell
what's the
us
DC?
about this.
What's
Describe it.
DC 15 Constitution.
all right, and that's at one creature or any creatures in range?
No, for that command word is that the guy who's beside me.
Okay. Ooh. Sorry, say one more time. What does the saving with? Con?
Yep.
Save.
What's the save level?
DC 15.
That's a 13. All right.
All right, so that was an
Awesome.
action.
This
So-
blast of light just pulses out. He's pulled out this gem
You pulling your punches.
and he begins to pull back. He only rolled a 10.
Yeah, what's his mod?
The con mod is +3.
What's his con saving throw mod?
Oh, wait a second.
Yeah. Oh, I was wondering.
I don't know. Do you want to spend a plot point?
How many do I got?
I don't know, Internet. Are we going to be nice today or mean today? It was a clutch move. I loved it.
I mean, those are just the stats.
I'll tell you what. If let's say Falurie wants to spend a plot point, I'll give him disadvantage on the roll.
Okay.
Disadvantage
fair?
on his save.
On his save.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll spend a plot point.
Spend the plot point. Let's see what he rolls.
Do it.
We'll leave
What
it
a
up to the
description
dice
of this
folks.
gem, though.
Yeah, while I'm rolling. This is me virtually shaking the dice. I missed that sound.
Oh, and he does fail.
Even with the +8. That's an 11.
That was a nice.
Nice. And Yaofen in for that plot point too to grant disadvantage. Thank you for that redemption, sir.
So as a bonus action, now if I do like an unarmed attack, do I have to have done an unarmed attack, or as an action?
For flurry
or-
of blows?
No, as a just regular unarmed strike.
Honestly, I don't
Yeah, I have to.
remember.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think so. I think you have to have done other attacks. So that's your turn to trigger that off. You still have a bonus and a move if you want it. And he is blinded. That's the effect, right?
Yes, for a minute.
Oh man, that's a long time to be
Oh.
blind.
All right,
Does it
so
give a save at the end of each round, or is it just straight up a minute?
let's see.
He might have a save at the end of each round.
Can repeat the saving throw at the end of each turn, ending the effect on. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, I'm gonna move, given that.
Sure. There's a weird question I have for you right now, because blinded, has disadvantage. But what's your alignment?
My alignment, I believe it's lawful neutral.
All right then. So his diabolical sense, allowing him to have advantage on perception checks made to perceive good aligned creatures, does not trigger. So he does not get a sense on you. See, folks, it pays to be somewhat evil. So he does not have
it.
it.
Evil.
Well, it's not good.
All right. So I will move out of his sight and go around here.
He nonetheless does try to take a bit of a swing at you and misses with a 15.
Yep, he misses.
Evil will win because good is dumb.
Yeah, thanks.
Ethan.
Yeah, Ben. That sounds like it's from a movie.
It is.
So seeing the advantage Falurie just gave, just blinding him, I am now going to do it one last time. I'm just going to try to push him with telekinesis.
All right.
I don't know if that makes it at disadvantage if I spend my last plot point, but
No,
basically
I'll allow that as disadvantage. He can't really sense anything coming, and it's not. He does not have his magical defenses against this either. His resistance, it's just straight up. So he's got disadvantage. Make your roll, sir.
luck point.
I was wondering if you were going to use it for that 7 you just rolled.
Yes,
I like to
am.
narrate
I
this,
use
by the
that.
way, because we do a podcast version of this too, so
A little bit better. 12.
a little bit better. Let's see what he comes up with disadvantage. He's pretty strong.
And he fails.
That is an 8.
Oh, finally.
How
So-
far can you push him?
I can push him 30 feet. So I just go
5, 10, 15, 20.
over the edge. You
Slams
know.
into the back wall of that. I want you to roll a contested check against the stone. Because he's now inside that room. He just goes back as I knock my headphones off. I'm committed to the bit. And he goes flying backwards. Go ahead and roll the same thing for you with the telekinetic strength. Oh, that's pretty good. And I'm just going to roll a straight D20. We'll see how strong this... Let's see what mason... I'm doing a masonry roll here, folks. That's how we
Very
play
good.
Dungeons and Dragons.
We'll find out
Oh,
who
boom.
made it, and then make a tools check. Yeah.
No. Smash! Right out the back end, and Ostrin's just sent flying these stones, pinwheeling in the air around him as he's thrust through the brick wall of this old piled stone cairn at the top of this 1,000-foot cliff, overlooking the sticks. And he goes flying backwards and plummets out of sight.
Do I sense whether? How
No, nothing yet. You're all just like,
Blinded by the light.
oh yeah, and he's bright as hell. So he's got this brilliant light beaming off his face. Or was it just a single flash? I think the fun of him actually being this beacon, this flare falling from Haramun's hill.
Old school.
Yeah, that's a
light up
manga
your
moment
eyes,
right
2E
there.
thing.
Yeah. And he's just plummeting. You're all just like, and you're taking in this moment for a second, and you're just like, wow. And at that moment, you're kind of all caught by surprise as you hear this, and off to the side of the cliff, these soldiers also fling Lulu, the old man, off the edge of the cliff.
But isn't it...
How did they get another turn before?
Yeah, I'm not done my turn yet.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fair.
Yeah.
You do have a bonus, and Darmita does have a chance to go. But I'm going to say, because you're all just so like, what just happened? That dude just went flung. I'm going to say that I'm going to make Darmita do a dex check to see if she can react before them, just based out of like, just watching Ostrid, the big bad from the early part of the campaign, flung from this place. So what do you want to
do?
do?
Plot point redemption. He shouts as Big O flies into the air. Gravity, you heartless bitch!
Yeah.
Gravity, you heartless bitch!
And to do it in the voice. All right. So, Fenris.
Yeah, so what I was going to do is... did they pull him over, or are they back by the tree and pulling him? Or
They're midway. Like, they were a little ways towards the edge.
Okay.
They're
So
about there.
They're about there?
Yeah.
Okay. So what I was going to do was... I was going to opportunity attack 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Yeah, lucky
30.
there. Does
That does not...
that probably doesn't hit you with an 11?
No, it doesn't.
All right.
And so I'm next to this guy,
Yep.
and I was going to quick cast, bonus action. I think I can Misty Step.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was going to Misty Step.
This is already a bonus action, right? Doesn't need to be quick cast.
Sorry, what's that?
Oh yeah, Misty Step is a bonus.
Always a bonus, isn't it? So you don't need the quick cast.
Oh, I don't need to. You're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to quick cast.
Just save
just,
the thing. That's all.
just do that, and I was going to basically get right next to him in the midst of it. Boom.
All right, so just, the shadows swirl around you for a second, and you are gone, and you just apparate next to the old man who's being held between these two soldiers with these gaping wounds in their sides, having just been flung off this
And I yell at them.
iron tree.
I yell at them. Your master's been defeated for good now. He cannot make good on any promise anymore to you. He's gone.
Their shambling movements don't seem to slow, even though you are employing them and making a good argument.
Persuasion.
Darmita. Not on this turn.
That is
Darmita.
not on this turn, I know.
All right, I'm gonna go up 10 feet
Sure.
and then go.
To move 10 feet a bit closer and get a good line of sight on those surrounding Lulu.
I'm literally
And now-
going feet.
Sorry?
I'm going in the air 10 feet.
Oh, right. You've got your winged boots, so you lift off the ground, hover up, and you can now see them over the rock that they were a little bit concealed behind.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go. I believe I can get to here. At which point, I'm going to bonus action recast at first level Hunter's Mark.
Absolutely. You mark this one? You
This
mark
one.
the nearest of those fallen soldiers.
And then 2 attacks at him.
Sure. Make your roll.
$29.
That's a
and
hit.
let's see what the second one is. Come on, nat 20. 17.
17 damage. The first arrow takes it badly in the shoulder. This strange
17 to hit.
Oh, 17 hits. So the first one did 6 points of damage, digging into its shoulder. The second one taking her right through the center of the chest.
I guess that is 17 damage.
At the back, right through the back, and then it's sticking out of his chest a little bit, and it falls to his knees, and gasps its last pained breath. All right, that one drops.
And then I'm going to shout to Fenris, get him out of there.
All right. Next up,
Gravity, you heartless pig!
anyway, so that would have been Ostrin. So somewhere he's having a bad day. Now, next up is the Helmed Horror, the original one. Begins to close, but it's going to be a while. So it just does its action to move a little bit closer, just trying to shamble forward. The others begin to close around. This one manages to... Oh no, you're up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have any armed weapons. In fact, they don't have any weapons at all. They're all just picking up rocks and shards of that tree. So they can't get at Darmita. She's up in the air. So they just begin to clamor around. There's something like 20 of them at this point, maybe more coming from the far side of the tree. The ones that are immediately closest to the two that are still holding on to Lulu begin dragging Lulu away. You do have an opportunity attack if you want, Fenris, as they begin to move away from you.
Can he grab Lulu instead?
Sure, you can make a
That seems
grapple.
fair.
Yeah.
Just so
Sure,
you know,
I'll
the
try to-
edge of the cliff is that gray line. It's hard to
Yeah,
see
like
on the map. Yeah.
Can I just opportunity reaction grapple, grab onto Lulu?
Sure. Yeah, you can go ahead and make a grapple attack,
Yeah.
and it's going to be contested by the other two. They are outnumbering you, So they are going.
Can I use my telekinesis to do this, or can
unfortunately,
I
that takes an
No.
action.
No,
So
it's a reaction.
strength? Yeah. Okay. Never mind. Straight strength roll. No.
You gotta get that Warcaster.
Yeah. Ooh, that's not good.
that is a nat 20 on mine and a 9, and they're straight rolls. So
Okay.
that's going to beat your 13. So they rip Lulu away from you and just, like almost like people like for funsies throwing someone in a lake by their arms and legs. They just, you see the old man.
Gilpin says, "Can't Lulu fight against the pulling?"
This is true. Lulu is a little weak old man, but Lulu begins to like, and he's being suspended. He's this naked old man suspended between the two, little rib cage sticking out, a little pot belly, beard, and he just starts going like he's constipated, and he's almost doing. He's not even going to fight back actually, but he's doing something, and then they fling him off the edge of the cliff.
Yeah, this is the. Oh, please don't throw me into the briar patch.
Yeah,
He's
and he's just like. And for a few seconds, you're all like, oh. And then you hear, and this little winged mammoth celestial form that the old man has managed to transform a little ways down and just comes hovering back up. Its 3 wings, and the long snout kind of looking out at you from a good like 30, 40 feet out. And a little bit down, and you can just make him out. And Darmita, you can see from your angle, you can see that he transformed about 40 feet below the edge of the cliff, and then began to fly back up again. The others begin to shamble down towards Fenris, who's the only one. Oh no, Falurie's at the top, and they left him in. Falurie, I guess you're hovering maybe a few feet being a flying creature yourself, so they left you alone, and they're mostly headed after Fenris. This one grabs onto you, or attempts to. Go ahead and resist that.
Gilpin says, "The wings sound like a helicopter."
Nice.
2 nat 1s. What are the chances of that?
These guys are, well, they've been hanging on a tree for a while. They're just like, they start to grab, and they literally just lean on Fenris and run their hands
for all
down.
of time.
They're not a fighting form. So they just kind of lean on you, breathing heavy. They gently caress you.
I like that image. Just like, oh, no, just give me a minute.
Whew. Ugh. And he pokes at this hole at his own chest. All right, so that's their turn. They even had advantage because they outnumber you. All right. Where are we? I lost track.
Falurie.
Top of the order. Falurie.
All right. Apologizing in advance, but I'm going to be using my movement, spending a key point to do Step of the Wind,
Nice.
and I will bring myself right here.
Woo.
So if I bomb in,
Just. All you see is he disappears with his puffy transportation thing as a shadow monk. No, you don't do that. Oh, you just go
I'm holding.
up and over and drop right
No,
down.
because all you're seeing is this bright gem that is accompanying me. So that's why.
That's right. All right.
And then I use the same gem and the third command word, which is, I don't know, maybe internet can help me out here, but I spend 5 charges.
Oh my
Tosses
god.
the gem to flare with blinding light in a 30-foot cone originating from it. Each creature in the cone must take a saving throw as if struck by the beam created with the second command word.
What direction would you like that to shine? 30-foot cone. Actually, you're a winged creature. I would even let you shine it down.
Right? Yeah.
But if you do that, you could hit Fenris.
That's why I apologize in advance.
Nice.
30-foot cone, huh?
The shadow
Yeah.
sorcerer is about to get like lit the hell up.
I'm sorry, man, but I want to try and take out as many people as I can, or blind as many people as I can. So
How high can you get, like based on your movement?
He's got a lot of movement as a monk.
well, I had some movement. I have 45, or actually 40 feet of speed. Then
I'm gonna say pretty much
You're using a flying
everything.
movement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should probably hit everything.
Yeah, you're hitting everything except the one that's right on the edge of the cliff, the one that flung.
I mean, 30-foot cone. If it gets the full amount, then I don't know if he can be. I don't know if she can be 30 feet up or not. It should hit.
Oh, that's true.
30 feet.
Yep. No, I think you can get even that one.
Boom.
Yep. So you can get
But
them
that
all.
only works if you're actually 30 feet away, right?
Well, that's fine. With the movement of a monk, and he's got flight speed as well. Like he's up and over. It's fine. He just the Arakocra bends low and leaps into the air. The wings give these powerful flaps, and it covers the distance almost in no time. And rather than arcing up and down, he's just staying high, calculating it. Just flies over and just aims this thing straight down. What's the save?
shouts out, "Long live the shadows."
Nice.
DC 15 con save.
Fine.
Bright lights make the longest shadows, something like that.
Todd,
Yeah.
that as well, right?
You are flying, so you do not actually get in that cone.
Okay.
That's probably true. I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, because it's going to come down at an angle. Yeah.
Okay.
16.
Good.
You're okay. You're not blinded. So 4 of them do not get blinded. So I'll just kind of pick those at random. I don't have a thing for blind, so I'm just going to put the ninja face. Oh no, this thing. I was using this as blind.
Sure.
All right. 4 of them can still see. Mostly the ones on the edge. But the ones towards the center are just like lit up in this. They've been in hell a long time. This is the brightest light they've seen in probably 50 years. All right,
Are
so
you using different stats for Jandar? Or does it matter if they got blinded or not, is what I'm asking.
it wouldn't make a difference for when they're blinded. And I also have to designate one of these guys as Jandar.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Either they're all the same, or one of them's Jandar, and it probably matters if they're blind or not.
He is not blinded, but he's one of those 4 at the top. He's up at the top there. All right, nice move. Anything else, or is that it?
Hey, that's all my
that's pretty
action,
clutch, man.
reaction,
That's pretty clutch.
action, movement, and bonus action right there.
And a catchphrase. You better write that catchphrase down.
Long live the shadows.
Sure.
Or the one that Darcy came up with.
Both. All right, coming up next.
I was trying to quote something unsuccessfully, so don't.
Fenris,
don't feel bad.
followed by Darmita, and then a whole bunch of them get to go.
All right.
Oh, look,
with-
a target-rich environment. Thank you, Gavin.
With my action, I am going to call out to them, following up with my yell, that your master is done. We just finished him. He's under the river Styx. Any promise he gave to you cannot be fulfilled. He tortured you for eternity. You don't have to do this anymore. Stand down.
Make your roll.
Oh boy.
Suspense is killing me.
20.
Ooh.
Okay.
20?
20. I'm very persuasive.
You are very persuasive. I'm rolling high on some of these.
You're
I think
setting
that.
high.
All right. But they're not modded. Okay. So a bunch of them are blinded and just kind of groping around one of them is still these two closest to you are still holding onto your clothes, and they're just feeling them and just almost holding against your skin for warmth. And the target-rich environment. Oh yeah. And the one right near the edge that had flung Lulu looks at Lulu and then looks back at you and smiles and just steps over the side.
And
Nice.
with my...
And then this one,
Yep.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, leaps
It's
over
like
the
lemmings.
side. 15, 20, 25, 30, over the side. Just somewhere far down below. Some of them hit the rocks on the way, like spinning. And even that probably doesn't break their smiles, as all of the ones that can still see except Jandar walk to the edge and fling themselves off into the obliviousness that is the sticks. It's like the happening in hell. Nice. Absolutely, Elfin.
And
Jandar looks at you and just kind of stares. The others are blind and start like poking around, can't quite see very well. And this one manages to shamble a little bit this way and this one that way, but they don't find their way to the edge. All right. That was interesting. Okay, next up, Darmita.
I'm not done.
Oh, you're not done.
No. I'm gonna Misty Step out of that.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
You look and you bamf, and your shadows encase you and then deposit you not too far away from Jandar there. And it takes him a second to look, as he's got this haunted look in his face, and he turns and looks over to you and says, "You helped some of my brothers today, but my master is not dead. I would know." And then he turns and looks up at Darmita and says, "There are others who survived, who stayed, entombed at the crypt of the Hell Riders. You may find what you seek there. And if I may," and he's looking up at Darmita and looks at her bow, "grant me a mercy."
And I'm going to bonus action Hunter's Mark him. Pull out an arrow, look at him and go, "Were you merciful to my mother?"
He opens his eyes, looks at you and says, "I'm sorry I left her here." When he hits,
I'm going to use my
Of course.
flurry.
oh, just raining arrows down upon him, and he just stands there, doesn't even flinch as that first arrow goes whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Arrow after arrow just flinging into him. That's 22, 24,
Fucker.
7. The arrow takes, the last one kind of takes him through the sternum, right through one of the gaping holes, and on an odd angle though, because you're way above him, and he's still standing. He was standing. Taking this beating, he falls to his knees, and you hear this breath just rattling in his lungs. You can find her at the crypt of the Hell Raiders. Tell her I'm sorry. Okay. Coming up next. Falurie, you're the closest. There's a bunch of them there just kind of blindly kind of shambling around trying to find. One of them, just by luck, finds the edge of the cliff.
Well, I still have the gem around my neck, but I'm not gonna, dismiss it. I still want these guys to be blinded.
That's fair.
So I'm just gonna do unarmed strike the guy to the north of me.
Sure. You drop down. You literally just drop on him. Just 2 feet kick straight down.
Okay. That
you have
one didn't
advantage
go.
because he's blind. That one hits.
Then 21. Alright, so 11.
Oh, he only has 10 hit points, man. Boom. Just 1 second he's there, the next you're standing where he was, and he's just broken. He was already pretty damaged from dangling off a metal tree for a long time.
Alright, so the one to the left.
Yep.
My other attack.
Ooh,
well, he got
nat
20.
20. Yeah, I'm just going to say you got it. Go ahead and roll
Okay.
for fun, but,
Okay, I'll roll for fun, just for shits and giggles.
Your clawed hands are just tearing through. That's 10. He's done.
Alright, and then just a bonus action for unarmed strike for the guy in front. To the side.
Whack! You land. Crack! You tear that one's throat out. That one falls. And then 21. Just the back elbow at the one that's right behind you.
That one has a 5.
And it goes shambling back about 3 feet as you just blood streaming down its face. And it's just kind of like very disoriented, but still there.
And then I shall move the rest of my movement
Sure.
aside.
It will get an attack of opportunity at you. It reaches out towards you and nat 20's your ass.
Isn't
They
he
have
blind though?
blind.
Oh, that's right. Disadvantage. Oh, and a 2. That's much better. He's just like, I used to be better before I was sent to hell. I was a ranger. So he's actually saying that. And he lashes out at you and just like, damn it. Ugh. All right. Not his day.
That's it.
All right, you go right up to Jandar, and who's just wheezing there on his knees. All right.
How you doing, buddy?
Today is a good day. Fenris. Oh, your turn.
Seeing Jandar kind of just wanting to be ended, I'm going to...
Bring him back to life?
No.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, I still have my telekinesis up, so I'm
You
just
do?
gonna...
So you just pick him up, and his legs are dangling, and he just rises up. He's totally not fighting it. You just over to the edge.
Can you throw it to the other guy? Hit the other guy with it?
No.
Ranged attack? No?
He's just dangling like a puppet, and he looks up at you, and he gives you a nod.
Nod back
And then he says, as you're about to let go, he says, "May Pelo be merciful, but today it was you showing mercy." And then he just falls. Bloop. Bounces off a bunch of rocks on the way down and falls into the sticks.
And I yell out to the others, it's time for us to go.
All right.
Kind of like, moving up a bit away from people.
Yep, that's fair. There are still some around, but they, having been a bit disoriented, you get a couple of minutes. Is there anything you want to do, or are you going to make your way back? Lulu kind of hovering along the side of the cliff, looking at you and watching all these bodies fall below, kind of gives this little trumpet as he's hovering with you.
I want to just quickly check the cairn if there's anything useful for us to kind
Sure.
of understand.
As the more and more bodies keep dropping off the trees in the distance around you, just hear them thunk, thunk, thunk. There's definitely more to come, but at the moment you're free, and you glance in and you see a small stone kind of bed base with some softer things, not much softer, but a blanket thrown on the top there. It's where Herman or Ostrin would rest. And you see a small chest. Actually, it's not that small. It's about 5 feet by 3 feet, sitting there.
I'm gonna lift the chest with telekinesis.
Absolutely, it's yours. It lifts, no
Okay.
problem. It is
Right,
closed.
Okay.
Camera cuts to the body of Jandar as the hand moves and clenches into a fist.
Nice.
I'll take the chest with us, and I basically say, "Hey, let's fly out of here. Pick up, one for pickup."
Yeah. Before I'm gonna, while he's doing,
Somebody
I'm
order
gonna-
Uber Eats?
yeah, I'm gonna grab.
Oh, no. Uber Eats. Uber
No,
Eats.
Lyft.
Oh, yeah, Lyft. All right, so you guys start to hover up, and all of you have flight speed of some kind with you levitating yourself, or are you going to ride on Lulu again?
Well, I think I'll ride on Lulu like as soon as I can hover over and.
Oh, well, you can telekinetic your chest and ride the chest. Just stand on it and surf it. Because
Sure.
that'd be pretty
At some
boss.
point.
Yeah,
And just
sure,
as a
why
point,
not?
So
I'm turning off the gem,
sure,
so I'm not a beacon of light.
yeah, that's fair. The beacon that was on top. Yep.
Before
Time for us to-
we leave, like while he's in there,
Yeah.
I'm to gather as many of my arrows as I can.
Sure, absolutely. Roll 2d10 for me. 13. You managed to get 13 arrows back. I don't even know if you shot 13 arrows, but you find some extras.
I did.
So Fenris is surfing the chest you just stole from your arch nemesis. Falorie's massive Arakocra wings lifting him. Darmita hovering on her flying boots, and you look out and you see just over the edge of the cliff, Lulu kind of looks at you and gives this appreciative nod. And that's when all of a sudden a shadow casts across Lulu's face for a second, and he looks up, and this massive bulbous body, 1, 2, 4, 8, as these strange wasp-like creatures just pile on him and just tear him from the sky, and he goes plummeting down, at which point about 4 or 5 of them begin to drag him away. Now you guys had already started moving away, and he was kind of a little bit off from you, and so it takes you a few seconds before it's just like you see him. It's almost like the camera sees him get attacked, and you're all like going across, and then Darmita looks back just in time to see him like 100 feet down and away, and being piled on by all these wasp-like creatures, and they dangle, and a couple of them sting him, and he kind of goes limp in their clutches, and they begin to fly away, almost due south.
How far away are they from us?
From you right now, about 120 feet. This is a few minutes after you left the edge of the cliff. You're out over the sticks right now, and he had been a little bit lagging behind.
He wouldn't have come back up to us?
Well, he was fairly close, but you were separated with searching out. You also see about 3 more of these wasp-like creatures come diving down and start harrying, in particular Darmita. They seem to be paying attention to her. The flapping of their wings, these loud wasp-like creatures, hell wasps, buzzing around you, circling around. You're suspended up probably about halfway across the river Styx at this point. The Hollyphant about 150 feet down and back. You're probably 800 feet in the air in total.
Okay.
I'm afraid. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. So I am going to, with the shadows within me, I am going to dimension door onto the Lulu.
All right. So as those wasps begin to drag the sluggish and now very stung Lulu away from the rest of the party, Fenris just goes, wraps the shadows around him. The chest that he was riding just begins to plummet as you're no longer there to maintain the spell within range. And you just disappear and appear right next to the somewhat lucid Lulu as these buzzing wasps are suddenly like, what?
And then, I guess, do we roll initiative? Who goes first?
I think at this point, we are going to find out what happens with the Hell Wasps next game.
Can I dive down and get the chest?
Sure, we're gonna. I'll say I'll give you a reaction to just try to catch that chest on the way down. You know what? Let's resolve the reaction now, just for a second, because I will totally forget. You know what? Let's see if you catch it before it hits the sticks. Next game, we're gonna play that. Not next week, actually. I think next week we're gonna move over to Shadowrun. So, actually, you know what?
Next week is Christmas Eve.
Oh, I suppose there's that. There's that. Yeah. So make your roll now, just because it's Christmas.
Just because it's Christmas, what do I roll?
Let's say a dexterity saving throw to react in time. So Fenris, bam, over there.
Nope.
Oh.
Gordon, you're intending to ace initiative and just immediately dimension door back out, right?
Oh, you got it, buddy.
Nice.
So
Let's
maybe we should
that.
just resolve that.
Maybe we should just resolve that.
Because it's Christmas.
Yeah.
Just because it's Christmas.
Yeah, I won't be able to play next week.
No, that's fair.
Yeah,
Me neither.
okay.
All right, so I'm gonna make Fenris also roll a dexterity saving throw, just to see if he can react before the rest of the rather surprised Hell Wasps. This is what I get for putting anything within 300 feet of a freaking Shadow Sorcerer.
Oh, okay. I've got one last luck point. Just
I was
in
wondering
case.
if you had that.
One last.
So you
Let's
wrap
see.
your arms around this little semi-miniature elephant.
That wasn't good. I'm going to use my last luck point.
That's fair, as you managed a 6.
12.
It doesn't take much. The DC is 10. To just wrap around and just close your eyes and the shadows erupt and all these insectine pincers and clawed mandibles and feet and a couple of stingers reach out into the space where you were as you just bamf.
And I'm going across the sticks.
And you make,
to the
you
other
were, yeah, you
It's
go.
500 feet.
Yep, you get all the way across. And you're just... Actually, you come down so hard and out of control, just holding this oversized elephant with no means to fly. Well, no speed to catch yourself with telekinesis. So you land about, let's say, 10 or 15 feet up off of the bank and go slamming into the dirt at the edge of the blood red river. And your shoulder just slams into the dirt, and you're going to take some falling damage from that.
Sure.
Okay. Hold on. Can you either go on me and then I take the fall damage, but I use a reaction to reduce the...
Unfortunately,
I'm all the way across.
He already...
Alright.
Yeah. So make an acrobatics check for me, Gordon. With disadvantage, because you're holding a mini elephant.
So first one is a 9. 9.
All right, so 9. So you're going to take full damage as the two of them slam down into the dirt and raw pebbles on the far side of it.
Okay.
Okay, you're going to take 15 falling damage
Okay.
as you hit the
still
dirt,
okay.
and Lulu does as well. But, I mean, he's a tough old man. Tough old elephant. All right. So you slam and just look back up at your group a little fur above. And then the camera cuts. Crumpled at the base of the cliff, not quite in the sticks. You see a body, a hand. Grab onto a rock. Begin to pull itself up. Cut to black. Something.
So I hope everyone enjoyed the intro to my new character. It's really exciting. A cool vampire paladin thing or something. Yeah, I'm very excited.
you change characters like people change underwear, man. It's awesome.
Also, Yelfin, have a good night, folks. Merry Christmas.
Thanks very much for the raid, everybody who dropped
Merry
by
Christmas.
for that. That was awesome. And Yaufen for all the suggestions. Have a good night, and yes, Merry Christmas. And ow with your what is that? The Yaufen
Open
dog.
dog.
Nice. Which, by the way, if you ever get the chance to watch Yaufen's games, he runs some great Shadowruns. Speaking of Shadowrun, everybody find some time to make up a character, dust one off, because next week we're going to be... Not next week, but next game we play, which will probably be midweek, because I have some time. We'll work on a schedule.
I can meet sometime next week because I'm off work. So
Yeah.
Me too.
I'm on leave until the 5th.
So sometime in the following week, we're going to do some Shadowrun. Nothing says holiday Christmas like random murder for hire.
I mean, Shadowrun's got to always take place in the dead of winter in Chicago or something, right?
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah, exactly. As always, we are
Todd,
looking...
You'll have to send me some documents, man.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm sure I can dust off an old character of yours if you don't have one. Meanwhile, we need an episode name. So, Internet, if you're watching, we always love to have you guys name our episode, or if any of the players want to make a suggestion.
I still like the name we had earlier about
Yeah,
running
but
Nate.
Pardon, what was that, Darmita? Your voice cut out as I was laughing at Yelfin's joke.
The earlier comment that we had for a name about Lulu running naked. I can't remember what it was, but it was... We could watch it back, but it was something about as he comes towards you running naked or something.
Something like that. Maybe I'll have to watch that back. In the meantime, I will happily take other suggestions too, if you want to drop them in chat. Thanks very much, everybody. That was fun.
Christmas tree ornaments.
fun.
See? You guys had fun at Harriman Hill.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
That
Great
was a
time.
good time.
Great time.
I love
Nice-
torturing
yeah.
all of you.
Yeah,
It's a good
that
time.
was quite a battle.
All right, thanks very much, everybody. If you have other suggestions, we put them on the Instagram. I should go to sleep because I have to work tomorrow. Hell's Ornaments. Oh, I like it. That's pretty good. Hell's Your hell.
Oh,
It's fitting for the season too. I appreciate that.
And we had this very nice tree that was dressed up. It's perfect. Yeah.
Exactly.
And they all got shaken off by a giant cat. Wait, not quite, but you know.
Fair enough.
The lights were bright, man. The lights were bright.
Yeah, there was a brilliant star a couple of times. That was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Shadow Sorcerer,
Yeah, no.
Shadow Monk busting out the giant glow ball. Damn, did not see that coming. All right,
Yeah.
I
All
think
day
desperate
episode, and we
times,
didn't
man.
even realize it at the time.
Hell's Ornaments is gonna take that one. That's pretty good.
It's very good. Thank you, Yalfin.
All right, and thanks very much for the raid, and we'll see you next week. Not at our usual time. That's Christmas, but we'll be back, and we play Dungeons and Dragons every couple weeks, and we play Shadowrun starting now, probably every 3 weeks or so. That's my goal.
Cool.
All right, take
Happy
care,
night,
everybody.
everyone. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
You've been listening to SideQuest Live. Thanks so much for tuning in. We try to record all of our games as much as possible, whether that's Dungeons & Dragons or Shadowrun or another tabletop role-playing game. Just a quick side note about all the licenses and copyrights involved. Our music is all Creative Commons attribution music on our live stream video feed or YouTube replay or Twitch VOD. We always attribute each individual artist, so be sure to check out those individual artist attributions. Lots of love to so many people who make their work available so that we can do what we do. So thank you. It influences our game. It makes it immeasurably better. So much appreciation for them. Let's not forget the makers of the games. Dungeons & Dragons is copywritten by Wizards of the Coast. They own it. They make it available to all of us to play, and it's wonderful. We are in no way affiliated with them, and nor do they endorse this podcast, but we are very appreciative. The other game we often play is Shadowrun, which is Catalyst Games, and again, we are not affiliated with them, and they do not endorse us, but we really appreciate their game, and we hope you appreciate our game. Thanks so much for tuning in. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram and Twitch and YouTube, and watch for those live games once we're streaming them out. And of course, we do accept suggestions for names, so please hit us up on Instagram and name our stuff. Alright, thanks so much. I'm Todd, and this has been SideQuest Live. We'll see you again soon.